What's good, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Good Games podcast, your source for video game news, commentary, analysis, and funny stuff. I'm Andrea Renee. Oh, I almost did it again! Yes! Oh my gosh!
How?
Why?
Now you have to explain. Now you have to tell the story.
Oh, well, first off, please welcome Miss Brittany Brombacher. And Miss Christine Steimer. Don't die!
Hi! Hello?
Okay, so what for people who are listening and can't see Brittany freaking out, what happened was we started recording the show and we made a bunch of flubs. And when I say we, I mean mostly just me. Made a bunch of just like flubs and we laughed it off and we're like, let's just keep going. I was like, well, we should really probably restart the recording. And then, blessedly, a technical glitch happened, and we had to restart the recording anyway. And thankfully, that glitch happened in the very beginning of the show. But it's one of the first things they teach you at hosting school is to say your name right. Get your name right. It's your name. Don't screw it up.
So your alter ego is Andrea Renee.
Andrea Renee.
And Andrea Renee is when Andrea Renee flubs. That's what we've come to the conclusion of.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show, everybody. If it's your first time here, we hope that you enjoy the next couple of hours of video game talk. It is, of course, Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and we anticipate you listening to this on Black Friday. Maybe you've been out shopping already, or maybe you're listening to this while you're shopping. Maybe you're just shopping from the comfort of your home, because that seems to be the popular thing to do these days. We're going to be talking about some of our Black Friday memories in the third segment, but because it is Black Friday, Brittany, we decided to do something a little special. You want to tell the folks all about it?
Oh, I would love to. You see, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to what'sgoodgames.com/store, you'll be directed to our beautiful Teespring store where you can buy all sorts of merchandise that goes with this crazy brand of ours, such as Baby Ass Baby Mode. We have the What's Good Games emojis. We have logos. We have Nerdy for Narrative. We have all sorts of fun things there. And because we love you all so much, and my throat is still on fire from drinking that whiskey, I think I inhaled it, and every single orifice in my body is now fuming. You can use.
That's a lot of orifices.
I'm sorry. I can't. Someone has to take this over. I gotta drink.
Sure.
Pepper shot.
I got you, girl. We have decided to do a special discount for a Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So if you guys have thought, hey, it's getting a little chilly outside, I'd really love to rep a What's Good Games hoodie, or maybe I would love to get that long sleeve holiday tee. You can do so for 20% off with special promo code funny stuff. If you go to, again, what'sgoodgames.com/store, that'll redirect you to our Teespring storefront where you can get 20% off your order from now through the end of day on Tuesday, November 27th. So that'll cover Cyber Monday and then, an extra day just for good measure. So if you guys have been holding out on buying some merch, now is a great time. We've added some new hoodie styles. We've added a couple new t-shirt styles. And we hope that you guys really like it. And we've been told by Teespring that they are going to be launching some new products, including hats, the much requested item that we haven't been able to put into our merch store. So I don't believe the hats will be live for the sale, unfortunately, but know that we are working on them and they will be coming in the near future. And we've got some other cool stuff planned specifically for our patrons. So if you're part of our amazing community at patreon.com/what'sgoodgames, we're going to give you guys a little extra discount. So in order to get that info and that special code, you have to go again to patreon.com/what'sgoodgames. We'll have a post up there with all those details. So you guys can get yourself a little bit of an extra discount for being a patron and supporting us and helping make What's Good Games possible. But
wait, am I crazy? Did you say the code this time?
Funny stuff is the code for 20% off for everybody. Yeah.
No, I know, but I was just like, I felt because we just recorded this intro twice. I'm like, wait, did she say it this time?
Yeah, so that's FUNNYSTUFF. Funny stuff, all one word, is the code you're gonna want to use at checkout to get that discount for you guys. So
rock on.
Yay. Do the thing. Get some stuff, rep it. And please, if you do have What's Good Games merch, we love getting photos of you guys in your merch. Please do send them to us. Either email them, contact@whatsgoodgames.com. You can tweet them to us, whatsgood_games, or post it in the Facebook page, in our subreddit, in our Discord. Wherever you guys want to post them, we would love to get them from you. We have 3 amazing sponsors on the show this week. We've got Four Sigmatic, Quip, and Me Undies. We're going to talk about those in just a little bit. But I feel like I was missing something, but I think I covered it all. We're actually going to talk about Four Sigmatic first, and then we'll be talking about Quip and Me Undies a little bit later on in the show. So you guys have heard us talk about Four Sigmatic before, and we love their products and are happy to tell you guys they are also doing some really cool sales for Black Fridays. So I just wanted to let you guys know, in case you weren't aware, the holidays can be stressful and exhausting.
It's true.
Especially if you're up late at night traversing the wasteland, robbing trains, or catching Pokemon. That's why it pays to be #on shrooms. Four Sigmatic believes in the real magic of functional mushrooms like reishi, chaga, cordyceps, and lion's mane, as well as other superfoods to help us live happier, healthier, more enhanced lives. They make drinking mushrooms and superfoods delicious and easy to do with their variety of coffees and elixirs, which you can browse at foursigmatic.com/WGG. Steimer, you're drinking the lemonade right now, aren't you?
I finished it, but yes, I had a whole big old glass of it. It's delicious.
It's a lemonade. Actually sounds really nice. Maybe I'll have to get some. All of their products are organic, vegan, gluten-free, and instant, but the bottom line is they believe life is better when we're on shrooms every day, all day. From November 23rd through the 26th, Four Sigmatic will be hosting their huge annual Black Friday sale. You can get your favorite products for 20 to 50% off. But if you use our special link, foursigmatic.com/WGG, you'll get an additional 15% off the already discounted prices. You guys, that is up to 65% off these products. If you've been anxious to try Four Sigmatic out, now is the time. So they have quite a few different options on sale, from the matcha, the coffees, the lemonades we were just talking about, their blends, elixirs, and their hot cacaos, even though I still call it cocoa because that's what it is. But that's one of my favorite products. I love the reishi cocoa. It just really mellows me out at night after a long day, and I want to unwind before I go to sleep, or if I just want to chill out and play some games or watch some TV. The reishi cocoa is delicious, and it's so tasty, and is perfect for wintertime and fall. As Steimer mentioned, she was just drinking the lemonade. Their single units are 20% off. Their 3-packs are 20% off. The hot cocoa, like I was talking about, is 20% off. And they have a bunch of sales happening right now. So if you guys want to get on shrooms like we are, you have to go to foursigmatic.com/WGG. That's foursigmatic. So foursigmatic.com/WGG. And you'll get 15% on top of the 20 to 50% discounts that they are running for their Black Friday sale. Again, November 23rd through the 26th. So thank you to Four Sigmatic for sponsoring the show. Now I want hot cocoa.
I know. Yeah, especially I want the cocoa that chills me out, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would soothe my throat that is still on fire.
It probably would.
I think Andrea trying to kill me, ladies and gentlemen. You have evidence of this right here.
You're blaming this on me?
Yeah, I was like mid-gulp, and you're like, hey, it's Brittany Brombacher, and then I gagged on everything, and I died. And now I'm like...
I didn't know you got so excited by the sound of your own name.
Okay, so I thought you loved me. Now you're trying to kill me. It's fine.
Yes,
I would never try to kill you. You're the best. So we have lots of news to talk about, and we're going to try to get through as much of it as possible. The first piece of news is actually old news at this point, but it broke because it broke last Friday after the show posted, but it's too big for us to not mention. PlayStation is skipping E3 for the first time in the show's 24-year history. So by now you guys have probably heard about this and heard a bunch of people talking about it. The write-up came from Variety. Currently riding on record high sales, the PlayStation 4 gaming console won't be hosting its annual press conference or showing up at all during next year's E3 Expo. The news was buried inside the Entertainment Software Association's announcement of the 2019 show that quoted competitors Nintendo and Microsoft, and then Sony then confirmed their absence in a statement to Variety, saying, as the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided to not participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community and can't wait to share our plans with you. This is also on the heels of them not having a PlayStation experience in 2018, which was kind of a bummer because I really like PSX. But
it made sense.
And just for the record, if you guys are new to the show and haven't heard me disclaim this before, yes, my husband works for PlayStation. No, he did not know about this ahead of time. He was just as surprised as I was when we saw this announcement. So this is really crazy news and something I think is an absolute mistake and not the right call. And while they clearly are on top and should do their own thing, I think not coming to E3 is like, I don't want to use the word catastrophic because I don't think it's that bad, but I think this is pretty bad. What do you think, Simon?
I think it's just weird. Like, it's because I feel weirder for Microsoft, honestly.
Also, how
because-
thirsty is Microsoft?
Oh, that was so funny.
Instantly took to social media to be like, don't worry, guys, we'll be there.
Right, which is like, you should have said nothing.
Yeah.
Just be
chill. Be chill, man.
Make yourself a cup of like reishi cocoa and
We can't wait to see you all at E3 2019. Hashtag Xbox at E3.
But like, it's kind of
Thirsty.
pathetic when you can't brag about winning a show that the other person didn't show up to.
Exactly.
Like,
Right.
so no matter what you show now, Microsoft, it's not going to matter in the same way as if PlayStation had been there. So, because you have no competition now. Like, you just don't. So, like, it's kind of a weird, lonely show.
Yeah. I think it's
at
also
this point.
funny that Nintendo also issued a statement from Reggie Fils-Aimé. He said, E3 is an outstanding opportunity for us to share new games and experiences with fans and business partners from across the globe. Every year we discuss what will be the best way for us to take advantage of the next E3 show in order to bring smiles to people's faces.
Do you think they're going to do an EA thing and, like, just be like, we're not at E3, but we are right next to it? Or, like, we are, like, right around the corner. We're taking over Tom's Urban. It's the
Yeah.
PlayStation building.
That's a good question. I think that would be smart of them, but I think if you look at the chatter and the social media presence around EA Play compared to what's around E3 specifically, that EA's taken quite a hit there as far as, you know, what they've been able to do. Now, this past year was a little bit of an exception in the sense that they didn't really have a lot of, you know, like crazy announcements. Right? They showed Battlefield 5, which had already been revealed back at their event in May ahead of E3. And so they didn't really show off anything like earth-shattering there. Anthem has been announced. And, you know, so they showed off more there. I mean, Command & Conquer Rivals certainly didn't set the world on fire. In fact, a lot of people were angry about
in
it.
some way, like the internet on fire.
Yeah, in a bad way.
Not a good way.
But they didn't have any really big announcements. Like, obviously, you know, Vince's game that he announced at E3 was exciting, but we didn't even get an asset, like no trailers, no key art, no concept art even, just a title. You know, if they had
The
showed
man
up-
wore a hat.
Yeah. Yeah. If he
That's
had,
what we got.
if he had shown some gameplay there or even shown like a teaser trailer, I think that would have been probably the most newsworthy thing of the conference. And so it's hard to compare, but the reason I think that this is such a mistake, and I talked a little bit about on Games Daily, was that I look at all of the partners that PlayStation works with to put on their show, the features in their booth with hands-on that they show new trailers for. Like, look at the Resident Evil 2 trailer. That was like one of the highlights of their press conference this year, and that's a third-party game. So it's like, well, now you definitely are going to push all of the third-party partners to Xbox because you have no stage for them.
So, and I wonder, because I heard you say that on Kind of Funny, because that's a very good show, and I do appreciate your work you
Thanks.
do on that show. Maybe you're the best host ever.
Thanks, Britt.
You're welcome. I'm not biased or anything. So my thought with that though is, we don't know we don't know how Sony communicated this to their partners. We don't know how this message was spread. Clearly, they're not communicating it to their own staff because your husband did not know about it.
Yeah, but they are always, when I worked there, they were not great about that in general.
Sure. So I wonder though, because I don't know how far in advance E3 planning is, but I'm sure people are already thinking about it, obviously. I can't help but think if Sony was a smart business, that they would have approached their partners way ahead of time and said, hey, just so you know, these are our E3 plans. We're not, spoiler, we're not having any. We don't have any. But we are planning, because I'm thinking there's going to be another event thrown by Sony that's its own standalone thing. This is a thing we're doing. We will basically come join us. Maybe there's some sort of exclusivity announcement tied in with that. I don't know how the contracts would work, but I can't imagine that all of their partners would just be left in the dust, and now they're scrambling over to Microsoft. Does that make sense?
But no, but it's a weird point of that I think Andrea was trying to get to, is a lot of, it's not just the conference, right? It's the show floor, it's all these things. All of the developers, especially third party, tend to build demos building towards this event, right? Everybody has that same deadline of E3 because it's the same every year. That's what they build for. So I'm curious to see, because obviously PlayStation will have an event. It's probably a mishmash of PlayStation experience and E3. Make a baby. It's a thing. But I don't know when they're planning on timing that. And even if you do it a little before or a little after, it kind of messes up the timelines. You would have to do it before, because otherwise the partners would just go, like Andrea said, would just go to Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're pushing up everybody's deadlines in Devland, that's kind of you would need to make those plans now. You would need to have discussed this with the teams. You would need to have contracts signed, all that kind of stuff.
Right. And I would imagine that, again, if they ran this well, they would have known about this far in advance, and they have enough notice to know that, we're not going to have anything at E3, but we are going to be throwing this huge event because all eyes are on us. Maybe you'll get more hashtag exposure if you come with us. If not, don't worry about it. You can go do whatever you want. Go with your bad self. Ideally, that's what I would like to think happened. But you never know.
But then this might, I don't know if this is the case, but this might be because Microsoft has been buying all of these studios. They're trying to build up their first party portfolio in a similar way that PlayStation does. If PlayStation's just no, we're going to do our own thing, and there will be zero third parties there. We're going to show you how strong our studios are.
Ooh.
And here you go, baby. I don't know. It's a big bet to make, to be quite honest.
That would be cocky.
They could be trying to do it. They do know that they're on top. I would argue at this point, because the end of the life cycle, they don't have a lot to lose here. This is the gamble, right? They can do this now. If it backfires, whoops, we could we'll join back up next year.
Oh, well.
Happen.
Well,
Homer Simpson into the bushes.
I like the idea that they could potentially even come back next spring and be like, LOL, JK, we're going to be at E3. And that the ESA would absolutely welcome them with open arms, and there would be...
Yeah, they've got a giant gap on the show floor now.
Yeah, I did love Brian Altano's tweet from IGN about Fortnite just taking over the entire South Hall.
So funny.
Oh my God, if they just made it a giant playground inside, that'd be great. They already have the mini golf.
I want them to do a llama petting zoo. And apparently the people at Fortnite have actually looked into this, but they said that there was some kind of animal safety regulation that they couldn't get the llamas inside the convention center.
What about alpacas? Are they better than llamas? They're definitely softer.
They look like llamas.
That's an interesting thought. I wonder what it would take for Sony to be like, LOL, we're coming back. Sorry, we made that big stink of an announcement, but
I don't think they would have announced it if they weren't sure.
Exactly.
No, I agree with
they
you.
never would have. And in regards to the idea that they didn't tell anybody at the company, they would never. Why would they would never announce inside the company this kind of a big announcement? Because not only would it immediately leak, but you don't want to instill a sense of panic or even a sense of discussion. Hey, this is up for discussion. It's not. It's this has been decided. And trying to get thousands of people or even hundreds of people to keep a secret until the press release goes, that's just not the way it works. But
nope.
It's going to be interesting to see for sure. But, you know, rip Sony's press conference at E3,
really
I guess.
I wonder what this, because like, you know, EA kind of left and now PlayStation's leaving. I do wonder if E3 will start to dissipate at some point and like everybody's kind of just running their own thing at separate times. Because I love E3, but I always have thought it was really stupid that everyone tries to jam pack all of their announcements in like a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe don't. Maybe let it have some breathing room.
Yeah, it's not really necessary anymore to have like this once a year conference like this where everyone can do their big news. It's just with social media and the way the internet works these days, and it's just not a necessity.
I'm going to disagree.
I'm
going to disagree. I'm going to say you're wrong. And I say that because I look at their social media engagements year over year and how there's just more and more because there's more ways to consume. And that because there's so much noise on the internet, every day something's happening, right? Like every day something big is happening somewhere. Some celebrity's doing something, something's happening in politics, something's happening around the world, right? That E3 focuses all of the attention on this 1 week to be like, this is the time to tune in, to make your announcements, to show your new gameplay, to debut your game or debut your studio. Like this is it because everyone's focused on this week. Whereas throughout the year, it's always hard to know like when's the announcement going to be big, when it's not. Like take Nintendo Directs. They're such a crapshoot, right? Like some Directs are going to be huge and amazing. And then some of them are going to be nothing.
I think it's just a Nintendo thing, though.
Yeah, but like that's what people always refer to as E3 diminishing. They're like, look at Nintendo doing its own thing and doing directs, and how a lot of people are want to go to a more direct style method of dissemination of information. And I say, yeah, but I mean, let's for a second put aside that Nintendo has obviously still got a major presence at E3, from the competitive tournaments that they do to the Treehouse Live that they do and everything else. But also like, if everybody did what Nintendo was doing, then it would be like we would have to be covering this never-ending press release news cycle. And it's bad as it is day to day.
That's basically what it is now.
I know, but imagine like if everybody did their big announcements rolling and like we never knew when it was happening. It would be chaos.
No, I agree. I think, to clarify, I don't think E3 is diminishing. I don't think the hype around it is diminishing. I think with social media and now it's open to the public, I don't think the popularity is going to die down. What I'm saying is, you know, now that Sony's planning on doing their own thing, they're going to get all of the spotlight. And maybe because Sony's big enough, they can afford to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not going to see this from, I think, smaller independent developers, but people like Sony, a company like Sony, I don't know if they really need E3, and that could just be because of the position they're in at this current part of the generation in 2018.
And Andrea, I think like to your point, yes, like the chatter around E3 is very large. However, if you are a person who is a product owner of a specific game and you know it's not one of the three that will be continued to be talked about afterwards, like the chatter might be here, but like your game might be a blip. And I think that's what people are like, would be reluctant to sign themselves up for at this point in the game, because you can make PR news cycles around other parts of the year. And yeah, to your point, it can be tricky to like figure out that timing, and also because you don't necessarily know when everybody else is announcing their shit, i.e. Rockstar, people just get out of the way. I love that they tweet it out, and it's not really for consumers. I feel like they do that so other people in the industry are like, okay, that's your day. Well, you got
that's your
it.
month.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
Fucking do it.
I still disagree with you, but we could talk about this ad nauseum, and we have so much other news to get to. So we, of course, will keep tabs on what's happening with PlayStation into next year. Hopefully they'll announce their plans sooner than later. Keep us in the loop, Sony. Let us know
Please.
What's happening. Another big revelation this week, Square Enix has finally completed development on Kingdom Hearts 3.
It went gold.
They didn't say gold, but they said completed development. I have to imagine they've got to be pretty close to goal, about a month out. So maybe they're doing just some final bug passes or polish passes before they submit for certification at the end of December. With the holidays coming up here at the end of the year, I'm not sure how the certification process works. Quite frankly, it's a question I can probably ask somebody and then never get an answer to, because that's normally the way it works when I email PR about these kinds of things. All right, it's just the truth. I'm like, could you please provide an official comment? Crickets. IGN writes up from Nick Santagello over there. At long last, Square Enix has finished development on Kingdom Hearts 3. On Twitter, Nomura-san said, I'm proud to unveil an extended version of the trailer that's been playing in North American cinemas. And guess what? We've wrapped up development on Kingdom Hearts 3. If you haven't had the chance yet, now would be a good time to prep by playing 1.5 plus 2.5 and 2.8. See you next month. In the trailer, protagonists Sora, Donald, and Goofy and more can be seen teaming up and facing off against various Disney heroes and villains from movies like Frozen and Pirates of the Caribbean. Fans have been waiting a long time for Square to finish and release Kingdom Hearts 3. How long, you ask? How about 14 years? That's when Kingdom Hearts 2 released 14 years ago. Well, closing in on 14 years. Even if Square did release multiple spin-offs and remasters and more since then. On January 25th, 2019, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners will finally be able to purchase Kingdom Hearts 3.
I could have had this as a child. Like, this could be a baby. I would have been a teen mom, but it still could have happened.
That's the best timer.
It's kind of wild to think it's been that long and that they've just been recycling and remixing these games for so many years. Just as a refresher, we tweeted out the definitive way to play the Kingdom Hearts series by Alexa Ray Correa. As you guys all know, if you've been with the show for a while, she was our resident Kingdom Hearts expert, and I'm trying to convince her in some way to come on the show to talk about it, but we're trying to get a workaround. But if you guys missed that, definitely fun to take that trip down memory lane and watch that video. But she told me I've got 70 days to get caught up, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Well.
Just like real talk, it's not gonna happen.
Watch the cutscenes on the internet. It's fine.
I am very happy for all Kingdom Hearts fans. However, that's also the day Resident Evil 2 remake comes out. So
we all know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Raccoon City, bitches. Oh.
Fair.
I'm definitely gonna try this out, mostly because I love Disney. I don't know anything about Sora. I am going to watch, as somebody recommended, a good recommendation to watch the game trailers timeline of this. Really fantastic series from Legacy game trailer days. And I don't know if I'm going to go back and play any of the other ones. Just
no, you're not.
Quite honestly. Let's be honest.
You're 100% not.
I got too much else to play. But this is exciting. So I believe they're probably going to actually stick to their release date then, if they've finished. Fingers crossed. All right, next story. Valve pulls the plug on Steam Link hardware. This write-up is from Eurogamer. They've discontinued its Steam Link hardware, the device that lets you stream PC games onto your TV. European stock of the gadget has already sold out, and Valve said last night the US supply is almost gone too, and no more will be made. So if you want to get your Steam Link, now's the time. It's a little surprising to see the Steam Link hardware culled. The box was still receiving new features as recently as last month, when the ability was added to stream simultaneously to multiple devices and use Android phones as a touchscreen input. But Steam Link has never become a mainstream product despite Valve's best attempts to make it affordable via regular deep discounts. And in the past 6 months, Valve has been focusing on Steam Link software to do the same job for iOS and Android devices. It's these options Valve will continue to work on without having the need to manufacture further Steam Link boxes. Moving forward, this is a quote here, Valve intends to continue supporting the existing Steam Link hardware as well as distribution of the software versions of Steam Link, available for many leading smartphones, tablets, and televisions. Digital Foundry tested the Steam Link app for iOS and Android earlier this year. At that point, it still needed a little more work to be reliable as its hardware offering. So I vividly remember being at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, when Gabe Newell debuted this hardware, and they showed off the prototype of the controller with the weird touchpad on the left-hand side. And it like, everybody got super excited. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Steam is making a console. And then I was like, wait, this isn't a console. This is basically just like a mini PC outside your PC. And then people were like, wait, what is this and who is this for?
Is that the controller that looks like the boobies?
Yes.
That's right.
I never thought it looked like boobies until just now. But now that you mention it, yes, it
totally
does.
looks like boobies.
And so it was, no, go ahead, Brittany.
Oh, I was going to say, I saw this story in the show notes, and I actually went to Steam and bought a Steam Link. And right now it's currently 95% off, so you can get one for $2.50.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Or if you want to get a Steam controller and a Steam Link, you can get both for $35.61.
Did you get the controller?
I did. I want the inverted boobies.
Holy crap. $2.50?
Yeah,
they really want to get rid of them.
We're currently recording this on a Tuesday, so I don't know by the time this releases.
They'll definitely be sold out by then.
Right. But yeah, so you can currently get it for $2.50. And I saw this, and this is something that I have needed. When I played Divinity Original Sin 2, when it originally came out on Steam, I brought my laptop upstairs and I had it plugged into the system with an HDMI cable and blah, blah, blah. This would have been much, much better. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it was interesting how diverse the Steam Link competitors became, and obviously some people are still offering them, but when it finally was released, we saw a variety of different Steam Link-esque type PC console boxes, and obviously they provide great functionality for people who do extensive PC gaming. I didn't want to be as reductive as I intended to be with my first comment about being like, what's the point of the Steam Link anyway? But clearly, if it's not selling, it's not selling. It was a failed experiment because the market that they were targeting were people like you, Brittany, that is such a niche market that there was never going to be a mass market penetration as to like selling millions or even tens of millions of these boxes. Yes, exactly. I knew as soon as I used the word penetration that the pillow would come out. And so, like, because people like me who are diehard console players that can play on PC, but I just choose not to because I enjoy my console experience and the plug and play of it where I can do my updates and, like, I don't have to do anything except hit the download button on the updates. And even if I set my console to automatic, I don't have to do anything. That I was like, who is this for? Especially with the cost associated with a lot of these boxes that they're not... You're not walking into like an Alienware box for like $249.99. You know, most of them were $500 or more.
So my understanding right now is that this is not available for iOS because it was approved, and then Apple said this goes against some security measures, so it's currently not available. It's only available on Android and Google Android TVs, I believe, because the problem people have, and the reason why I think the Steam Link, that's why I bought it, is because you can obviously have it on your phone, but if you want to play it on your TV, you have to have, I don't know, a dongle or something that plugs into your phone that plugs into your TV. And that sounds like a big old pain in the ass. And
double dongles.
Double dongle. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, I guess this makes sense, but it does seem kind of odd that they would discontinue this because then the only way you can play these without doing the weird dongle thingamajig is to have something connected to your phone that can connect to your TV, unless people are purely happy, super happy just playing on their phone alone, which maybe they are. I'm not super in touch with that crowd.
I do not know.
I do not know either.
It
Also,
was not for me.
Summer, you have
Nor was
Frozen, and you are beautiful.
Oh no, I see. Yeah, I see that my screen has gone black for some reason, but I don't know why.
And you're Frozen, the face that you have.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Your face is just frozen. Is the most like
Super unimpressed.
it's like
No, I think the camera legit died because it's black on my screen and the light from the Logitech is gone.
uh-oh.
So
Brittany is taking a photo. Don't worry, I can screen cap this too.
I think we might need to put up a Microsoft Paint image of
Done.
Oh my gosh, are you saying that the Brio like straight up died?
The light's gone. The light has died inside of it, Andrea.
Oh no.
Well, if you are watching at youtube.com/whatsgoodgames, lo siento, but at least the audio friends can listen to Summer's voice. It's like she's still there.
how bad do I look?
It's
You
not.
look very. It's the
It's
most
not
cyber,
bad.
like,
It's like unimpressed is one word. You kind of look.
It's my resting bitch face.
No, you don't look
No.
mean. You almost look a little bit sad.
Oh,
It's
great. Love it.
It's like almost like after a sigh where you're like,
what am I doing?
What do I do? Oh,
I just
dear.
this
messaged
is
it to you,
definitely
Summer.
meme worthy.
Oh my god, I do look sad.
Okay.
No.
Well, what do we do
Oh,
now,
God.
friends? Do we take a break and fix this?
I think let's just finish this segment with my face frozen in that weird way, and then we'll fix it at the break.
This is
pretty good.
amazing. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, apologies. You get sad Steimer.
It's more like disappointed.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
disappointed. Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Face.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Okay, so moving on to the next story. We'll pour one out for the Steam link. Skybound updates the Walking Dead final season episode release dates. So this write-up comes from Shack News. Skybound, who stepped in to complete the Walking Dead episodic saga after the closure of Telltale Games, has published an update on the remaining 2 episodes. The series is coming still, and the company has recruited original Telltale Games members to complete the final season. The official statement from the Skybound blog post reads, "Thank you for your patience while we worked with Telltale to take control of Telltale's The Walking Dead. It's been a ton of work logistically and legally to get us to a place where we are able to roll up our sleeves and get to the actual work. After Telltale shut its doors, the game was unfortunately unable to be worked on, and hence the release dates of episode 3 and 4 have been delayed. But we're excited to let you know that many of the talented, passionate team members who originally worked on the game are resuming development efforts today. Soon we will be announcing release dates for the 2 remaining episodes. It's likely that the previous seasons of the game may be unavailable to purchase for a few days as we transition, but don't panic. We'll have everything back online ASAP. If you've already purchased season 4, you will not have to pay again. Future episodes will be available to download as soon as they are released via your original point of purchase." The assets for Telltale Games properties have and will likely continue to exchange hands as the company liquidates with an assist from Sherwood Partners, but it looks like it won't further hold up Skybound's efforts to finish the saga of Clementine in The Walking Dead, the final season. So this is great news to hear. And so glad that Skybound stepped in to make sure that the final season gets finished. Of course, we don't need to rehash everything that went down with Telltale and their ceremonious closing super abruptly and kind of leaving not only fans of the game and people who had purchased in the lurch, but obviously all of the developers who had been working on all of their titles as well. So good work, Skybound, for stepping in and making sure it got taken care of and was done right.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Also, Steimer's sad face, man. It's
I mean,
fucking
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
It's even
Exactly.
worse though. God, disappointment is so much worse than anger.
So not much more to say there. Once we get release dates, we'll update you guys on that. But for now, the good news is that yes, Skybound has taken over development. Yes, they are working on it, and they will have release dates soon. This year, not probably going to happen, which they originally said that they were going to try to release something this year. I think that's definitely getting pushed to next year.
Yeah.
Next story.
There's holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Take some time off, relax. Nintendo says an N64 Classic isn't coming anytime soon. If you were hoping that Nintendo would follow its NES Classic and SNES Classic with a miniaturized version of the Nintendo 64, Reggie Fils-Aimé, president of Nintendo of America, has some bad news. In an interview with Kotaku, Fils-Aimé said that a Nintendo 64 Classic is, quote, not in our planning horizon. Normally, a response like that could be interpreted as a soft deflection that Nintendo has not announced such a project and has no plans to reveal one during an interview ostensibly held to promote the company's holiday lineup. Nintendo could, of course, still release an N64 Classic at any time beyond its planning horizon, but Fils-Aimé explained why the company may not trot out a third mini version of one of its consoles. He said, "We were clear when we did the first 2 Classic series that for us, these were limited time opportunities that were a way for us as that were a way for us as a business to bridge from the conclusion of the Wii U as a hardware system to the launch of the Nintendo Switch. That was a very strategic reason we launched the NES Classic system."
Wait,
Oh.
what?
So essentially what he's saying is that they launched the NES Classic to distract you from how terrible the Wii was doing, or the Wii U was doing.
Yes. That's
To
exactly
be like,
it.
just,
They were like,
yeah, look
forget
at
about the
our
Wii
better
U.
days. Remember, everybody loved us back in the NES days.
remember when we were good? We're about to be good again. No, hey, I really like the Switch, but the Wii U was a failure.
Yeah,
I know, you're
it
totally
was.
right. I just awed before you followed up. I prematurely awed.
You prematurely odd. Nintendo has started rolling out the classic NES games on a monthly basis in the Nintendo Switch Online subscription service, and Fizame said that Nintendo Switch Online is where Nintendo fans should look for that kind of retro content in the future. So while there may be...
What was that noise?
That was a grunt of disappointment.
Oh,
So while
sounded
there
like
may
a
be
weird wet
hints
fart.
that an N64 Classic is coming, the success of the NES and SNES Classic make another mini console seem like a no-brainer. It may not actually happen anytime soon. Wah,
Cool.
wah, wah.
So yeah, the N64 Classic is coming. I think there are some, I'm just calling it, I think there are some hurdles Nintendo's facing. One that you're seeing from a lot of folks, and this is very valid, the controller is just wonky as hell. That's not like an easy thing to manufacture. That's not a thing to ship. Also, I think Nintendo has to take their time with this because they have certain licenses for certain games that they should absolutely have on an N64 Classic. GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Rare games that Rare is now owned by Microsoft, and I'm sure that's not an easy license to acquire. And shipping an N64 Classic without games like that, it's totally doable, but I think there would be a lot of eyebrows raised and like a lot of what the heck, sirs? What are you doing, sirs and ma'ams?
Well, we've seen Microsoft and Nintendo working very closely together to launch crossplay between Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. So hopefully, if they're working together now, that relationship will just continue to blossom, and we'll see them work out their royalties deals, and we'll get the mini N64 at some point in the future.
Absolutely. They're besties now. Just wait till next gen. They're going to turn savage on each other.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
No, that sounds bad.
And lastly, in the news, CBS announces the first ever network Gamers' Choice Awards. So this kind of came out of nowhere. I've been trying to figure out who's involved and what this is. So let me just read a little bit from the press release. And Game Informer did a write-up about this as well. CBS has thrown its hat into the ring of end of the year video game awards, announcing it will air the Gamers' Choice Awards December 9th on CBS and the CBS Sports Network. Hosted by Carrie Keegan and director of Twitch Studios Marcus DJ Wheat Graham, the hour-long award show will honor the winners of a number of categories, all of which are voted on by the users. Worth noting, the Gamers' Choice Awards is being produced by the same people that produce the Teen Choice Awards, which you've probably heard of and maybe watched. So we're not going to go through... Steimer actually went there.
I went to the show.
Did you have a good
really
time?
Strange. I felt very old, but the production was quite good.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here. I don't have the rest of the press release, Brittany. If you do, maybe it's here.
I'm going to pull that up right now because that's what I'm doing. And
Okay, so it
here we
says
go.
here the GCA show is the first and only network televised award show because they can say that because previously the video game awards were on Spike TV, and that's not considered network TV. It's considered cable.
I was wondering about that.
So that's why they can get away with that, because this is on CBS. And I was like, I had to take a pause myself and be like, I don't know, man. The video game awards lasted for a really long time. So an unprecedented 12 network hours across CBS and CBS Sports Network will focus on the GCAs. Now that is wild to think about, 12 hours of network. But if you think about what CBS runs during the daytime on the weekends, if you've never tuned in, it's not exactly the most riveting content you've ever watched in your life. So
Right, and as they go on, I'm sure you'll continue to read it, but like they're breaking it up into pre-shows too.
Right. So they will have of course, the telecast on December 9th, which will air after the Sunday Night Football, I believe. No, after the football game that's on in the afternoon. So that usually wraps around 4 o'clock. and I believe they said it's going to be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, immediately following the NFL game on Sunday. And then they're going to have the GCA preview show, which airs on which aired on
two dates for it.
Yeah, so it aired already on the 18th. And then the other date I don't see here.
Fans can vote for their favorites at gamerschoice.tv now through November 27th. That's the only other date I'm seeing.
Yeah, I don't see when the 12 hours of network content is happening.
It says today a number of nominees were announced and profiled on CBS on the first of 2 GCA nomination preview shows. So it already happened. Right?
Oh.
Yes.
So the first one
These two
happened
already
November.
happened. So the first one happened the 17th, and then the second one happened the 18th.
Yes.
And then the actual show is December 9th.
That's right.
This whole thing is just weird. Because first off, if you're going to have something on network TV, why wouldn't you tell people ahead of time when exactly it's going to be so people can tune in? That's the whole point of being on a broadcast network. So this is really kind of a head scratcher. And the categories are just a little mind-boggling. I believe somebody tallied them for 49 total categories, which is wild. And the nominees range from 5 to 10 nominees.
I mean, they had 6 hours each day to go through these, so they needed to pad it out as much as possible.
And they did have some in there that I wish the Game Awards would have, like we talked about, like Gaming Moment of the Year. I thought that was a good one. That would, what's something that happened?
Well, they have esports moment of the year, but they don't have gaming moment of the year.
Right, like Drake and Ninja. Like that would be something fun to think about and reflect on. But some of these are just like favorite celebrity gamer out of musicians and athletes and actors are all separate categories. Favorite retro character: Mario, Link, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Bomberman, Bonk, Mega Man, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Samus.
Also, wait, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
Under favorite celebrity gamer actor, they have Olivia Munn, which is bullshit because she specifically came out and talked about how she didn't want to be part of this community.
Oh.
I mean, they probably were like she was on G4.
And I'm not saying that she doesn't play games now, but like, are you kidding me right now? And because Mila Kunis talked about playing World of Warcraft on Jimmy Fallon or whatever late night talk show, I'm like, there are way better celebrity game. Why is Chrissy Teigen not on this fucking list?
Oh my God, Chrissy Teigen would have been amazing.
I mean, like, come on. Are you kidding me right now? She tweets about games all the time. And even Lady Gaga just tweeted about Bayonetta. Yeah. I'm like, what? At least Henry Cavill's on there.
Granted, we didn't watch the pre-show, so I don't know how this was nominated, but the fact that none of us who, our job is to pay attention to this industry had heard about this, I think speaks volumes. They also have a category called Most Desired Franchise Resurrection: Half-Life, F-Zero, Banjo-Kazooie, Earthbound, hell yes, Chrono Trigger, Knights of the Old Republic, and Jet Set Radio. A lot of these categories are just kind of like a one and done. You can't really vote on this again next year. I mean, you can, but it's not relevant. So it just seems like it's...
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Oddly thrown and strewn together. Not to mention Red Dead Redemption 2 is only on this under Gaming Moment of the Year when it had the biggest opening weekend of any entertainment property. It's not for like Game of the Year or anything like that.
I don't know who's doing the nomination process. I can't find that information.
It didn't even make it on fan favorite game.
Which is like, it's crazy. How is Red Dead Redemption 2 not up for fan favorite? I mean, people are saying that maybe this has to do with a submission deadline, but I would say Red Dead Redemption 2 came out at the end of October. When the heck was your submission deadline?
And it's not like, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting all over this, because I have to admit, the first time I read through this, I was really salty about it, and I don't really know why. I think maybe it's because I feel like this is going to be on network TV, and I'm worried, and this, I don't want to discredit the work people are doing on this, but I'm worried that it's just going to be an inaccurate representation of the industry and what it's capable of. Whereas I feel like if you look at something like Jeff's putting on the Game Awards, that's like super duper serial and top quality content. Obviously, I'm speaking before I've actually seen this, and that's not fair. But those are my thoughts and feelings.
No, I mean those are fair thoughts and feelings. I think that my plea to anybody who's listening or watching is to say, do you work for the company that runs the Gamers' Choice Awards? we would love to help you run the Gamers' Choice Awards. If you need assistance picking categories, doing nominations, like, we are here for you. If you have any questions whatsoever.
Help us help you.
Yes, exactly. Maybe don't ever put in a category called favorite retro character, because that's not something that changes year to year. You know? Like, also
Mario
Bonk
still
from Bonk's
technically-
Adventure? Are you kidding me right now? Up against Link, Mario, Pac-Man, and Mega Man? Sonic? Samus? Who is Bonk?
He's the only truly retro one because all the other ones have come back.
That's fair. Actually, that's a good zing.
Yeah.
I think for me, this is like a big, and the reason why we're not going to cover it the way that we're covering the Game Awards is two reasons. One, obviously we're a part of the voting jury of the Game Awards. We have a vested interest in covering the Game Awards. I've worked closely with Jeff Keighley in the Game Awards the last 2 years, being the host of the Backstage Live Lounge and doing interviews with winners and nominees. And also, Jeff Keighley has cemented himself as an industry-leading expert in video game presentation in this type of entertainment format. I don't think that anybody is disputing that he is the best person to be the executive producer for this type of a show.
Not to mention his, like you're saying, we're going to be getting announcements as well during a show like this. Like, the industry's paying attention to this. This is something significant.
Right.
And so it just makes you wonder why and what are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I haven't heard from any of my friends that work in development or publishing about their involvement in the Gamers' Choice Awards. If we're going to get new trailers, if we're going to get gameplay, I have to imagine we're not. I have to imagine there's going to be a lot of mainstream entertainment integrations, TV shows that obviously are on CBS, potentially movies and other things like that. I would be really curious if a publisher decided to hold back a trailer from the Game Awards to put it into the Gamers' Choice Awards. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But they're 2 days after each other. So the Game Awards are on Thursday, December 6th, and the Gamers' Choice Awards are on Sunday, December 9th.
Huh.
It's going to be weird.
I wonder if I can get a ticket to go see that.
I know. You should go.
So, real quick question. I don't follow the Hollywood scene, but is there something like this in Hollywood with film and television where you can win multiple awards for the same thing from different shows?
Yeah, of course. Look at look at the SAG Awards, the Golden Globes, the Oscars.
Okay.
You know.
Yes.
So like back to back like this within a few days of each other? 'Cause
Within
I feel
a few
like
days, no. Generally during a movie awards season, they're spaced out by weeks, if not months.
okay.
So this is definitely unorthodox that the awards are this close. Every once in a while, you'll get the SAG Awards and the Golden Globes that really butt up against each other and get really close. But they have been doing that for decades. So it's a little bit different than this because, and those aren't fan voted, right? Those are all peer voted or they're critic voted awards. Whereas this is completely fan voted. And what's weird about it is that I don't know anybody outside of people that are hearing about this through people like us that are going to be voting in this. I would be really, really interested to know how many votes they get, how many votes are tallied, because Jeff obviously has opened up the Game Awards to public voting too. The public vote is weighted, but it still factors in. You can vote on all the categories. And he said that there are more votes now than ever before. Like, people voted early and people are voting more often, and that more people have voted than have ever voted in the Game Awards before. So
Also, I like that in most anticipated game, the Elder Scrolls 6 is an option.
what?
Next to games like Kingdom Hearts 3.
Are you fucking kidding me? I didn't even look at that.
The most anticipated game, The Last of Us 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Elder Scrolls 6, Death Stranding, Cyberpunk, Sekiro, Rage 2, Days Gone, Anthem, and The Division 2. Also, Resident Evil 2, where you at? What happened here?
That's crazy that they put Elder Scrolls when that's like not even a fucking
Elder Scrolls is like 5 years
anything.
away.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We're done shitting on this.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm not trying to shit on it. I'm just trying to understand.
There we go.
Help me
Steimer's not mad.
understand.
Steimer's not mad. She's just disappointed.
I'm just
Help
disappointed.
you.
I'm just perpetually disappointed.
Exactly. Also, sometimes I forget that you're frozen, and I'll look up at you, and then you'll just be in that phase, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
It's my face.
Okay, that is going to wrap up the news for this week. And we thank you guys for hanging in there with us. And we are going to take a quick break so that we can get Steimer's camera fixed. And when we come back, we are going to be talking about what we've been playing. So stick with us. We'll see you guys in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. It's segment 2 of the What's Good Games podcast. And this segment, Hands-On Impressions, is brought to you this week by Quip. When you think of the perfect gift, and you probably are gift shopping because it's Black Friday weekend, you probably don't think of an electric toothbrush. But the Quip electric toothbrush is one of the most gift-guided gifts of the season, and here's why. It's perfect for everybody with a mouth. And it's something they'll use twice every day. Quip makes holiday travels clean and easy with a multi-use cover that mounts to mirrors and unmounts to slide over the bristles for on-the-go brushing. It doesn't require a clunky charger and runs for 3 months on one charge. Quip is the gift that keeps refreshing. With brush heads automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5. And you can even gift prepaid refills for a year to make sure they're never using old, worn-out, or ineffective bristles. I really enjoy my Quip because it's so easy to use in the sense that when you're traveling on the go, taking a toothbrush and keeping it clean can sometimes be a little challenging, especially if you don't get yourself a really good toothbrush cover. You don't want to use the cheap ones that the hotel gives you for free. You want to use the ones with the soft silicone bristles that vibrates oh so gently and lets you know every 30 seconds when you're supposed to move to the different side of your mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That was so good.
I'm speechless. I feel like you just gave a little poem for our Quip friends there.
I don't know if it actually had any rhythm or rhyme
It wasn't
to
a
it.
poem, but it was very poetic, I suppose.
Thank you, Steimer. That's a perfect point.
I have the silver metallic one. Steimer has the really cool bronze colored one. Britt, you have the silver one too,
Copper.
right?
Yeah,
It's copper.
silver one.
And so they have a variety of different colors and styles for every person in your life with a mouth. Hopefully they all have mouths. And that's just some of the reasons why we love Quip and why they have over 5,000 verified 5-star reviews. It looks like a big ticket tech gift with a stocking stuffer price, starting at just $25. If you go to getquip.com/whatsgood, right now you'll get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush, but you don't have to tell your giftee that. It'll be our little secret. That's
Wink.
getquip.com/whatsgood, getquip.com/whatsgood to get your first refill pack for free. Everybody needs a clean mouth.
I hope so. Yes.
It's a good thing to have,
Especially
if you
after
talk to
cat
people.
treat.
Not true. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we did cat
yes.
treats.
You can tell that story, Steimer.
I mean, there's not much to tell. It's not clickbait. It's what it sounds like.
There's alcohol involved.
We were a little drunk. We decided for some reason to try the cat treats.
Because they weren't eating them, and we
Yes.
were not happy
We were
with
like,
that.
This is not okay. But then, I understood why they weren't after. But then, yeah, you would want to go brush your teeth real quick.
With the brush.
With the
Get that cat treat taste out of your mouth.
Yes. Very good for that.
For the record, we're not endorsing that you eat cat treats.
No.
We're just saying that we did it.
You know?
If it comes about.
Just know that we did it. We've walked that road. We've walked that path.
Exactly. It looks like we have a Dear WGG question from Miss Molly that says, what the heck is Fallout 76? Are you excited for a different kind of Fallout or bummed that it's not the traditional kind? I'm intrigued. Also, I may be too late, but oh well, next time.
So she actually submitted this question back in May. So now...
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Wait, they hadn't even announced it yet, had they?
I thought it was. Yeah, remember? It was teased, and then Jason Schreier was telling everyone this is not the Fallout game, and they did a live stream, and then they announced it was some weird thing that no one knew what it was. In fact, still no one knows really what it is 6 months later.
Zing. So
And
you've
it's
been
out.
you've been playing it, Britt. We talked a little bit about it very, very briefly last week, mostly just to be like, we're going to talk about this next week. So how has your time in the Wasteland been?
You know, I have to say, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's with proper expectations. You know, this game is buggy. There are instances where I'll come across a Scorch, I think it's called Scorched, one of the bad dudes in the game, and I shoot them and nothing happens. They'll take no damage. I'll walk into a room and they're all in their character model stance with their arms out to the side because they haven't rendered their animations yet. But I'm playing it with Jason, and we are both. I mean, I've played Skyrim and some other Elder Scrolls games, and I played Fallout for maybe 10 to 15 hours, Fallout 4. So I'm not super duper familiar with this series, and nor do I have some sort of attachment to it. So to me, Fallout 76 is the first time I've really truly experienced a Fallout game. And now I know this is sort of a shell of what a Fallout experience usually is, according to all the very angry people on the internet. But that might make my impression of this game better than what it would be if I was a diehard Fallout game. So with all that said, we're having a lot of fun. You know, you get to run around. There are quests you can do, events you can do. There's tons of loot. We're building the campsite. We're doing the missions.
Are you not finding, like, are people not interfering with you? You're not getting griefed?
No, so so PvP unlocks at level 5. We're both level 9 or 10 right now. And how it works is that if you are attacked by another player and you do not engage, the damage they deal to you is cut in half. So it takes longer for them to kill you. And you can also turn on pacifist mode, which tells other players, like, hey, I'm not interested in PvP. Now, whether or not that refrains people from actually attacking me, yet to be seen. But I have not been griefed. I have not been shot at. I have not had any negative interactions with other players as of yet.
Well, that's good to hear, because I watched John go through his create a character while you're still in the vault. And somebody else was in the vault, which I didn't think anybody else could be in the vault while you're in the vault creating your character.
Were you listening to them creating their character?
No, they were literally like, you could hear the character like grunting as they were just like hitting him over and over again.
Oh, that's weird. Because when
I was trying to kill him as soon as he spawned, basically.
Right.
You can't do that when you're less than level 5. So he couldn't have killed John.
Right, but like they were just right. kept hitting him over and over again, just like for the fun of it.
No. So when I was creating my character, there's obviously someone in the vault or something also creating their character, and it was really funny. Because I was hearing this person chatting with someone else, saying like, "How big is my nose? What color are my eyes? My hair doesn't look like
Maybe
that."
Maybe they didn't realize that proximity chat was on.
Exactly. So that was super duper funny. That went on for about
what you say.
That went on for about 20 minutes, and Jason and I were laughing very, very hard at that.
The Wasteland is watching you.
Wasteland is watching, but no, it's fun. You know, I think this game will be much better. Obviously, there's a 50 gig patch, I think, incoming pretty soon. Maybe that came out
now,
today.
yeah, for over 47 gigabytes. That is a whopper of a patch.
Yeah, but you know, it's not as broken as I expected it to be. It's functional. I'm having a good time with it. Yeah, raise your hand, girl.
Brittany, how much is this game retail for?
You know, that's a very $60.
Can you tell me what you just said again? It's not as, no, it's not as broken as you expected it to be for a $60 game. This is not an early access game, correct?
You are absolutely 100% correct.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought this up.
Just checking.
Full disclosure, Bethesda did send me a review copy of this, so I did not spend my hard-earned $60.
Not only that, they sent you some fancy ass Jersey shit.
Oh yeah, I could have.
You got some real fancy. You got an Xbox and a controller.
You got an awesome helmet thing.
Yeah, but I can't use that helmet. You can actually use the controller.
Yes, you can.
I got nothing.
Tyra's like, excuse me, bitches.
Hello.
So yeah, I think that's again why people are very upset. I didn't watch the video, but apparently there's a video going viral of a man trying to return his copy of Fallout 76 at a GameStop. Have you seen it or heard of this video?
No.
And he like destroyed stuff in the store. I didn't watch it, but it's going viral.
No,
Anyway, people are not happy.
No,
Like
that's
an overreaction.
unnecessary. The GameStop didn't make the game.
It was the return policy that he was upset about. He wanted to return it for full price, you get his full money back, and they're
That's
like,
not-
"No, that's not
That's not
how this works." Right. So again, do your research on it. If you're on the fence, look into it, look at all the things wrong with it, and decide whether or not you feel like you're ready to spend the $60 now or wait for them to patch it and then spend the $60. If you're in it for the long haul and you know you're going to play this regardless, go ahead. But just know you're not getting a very polished experience at all.
I
Like
think
Sam
that's unacceptable from a
Sure.
publisher like Bethesda. I think we all agree that a certain amount of bugs happen to a game at launch. Particularly an open world game is going to have more bugs than the average bear. But the extensive reports that I've read from multiple sources with supporting video evidence of just how broken this game is. Also, a game that's finished at launch doesn't need a 47 gigabyte patch. To me, is just like, I think Bethesda, without question, should have delayed the launch of this game. Or they should have
100%.
launched it into a discounted early access or even a free early access. I saw the extensive write-up from both Digital Foundry and Eurogamer about this, and like Digital Foundry's findings were not good at all. And the idea that they're selling expensive in-game cosmetics at launch when it's broken, you guys know I have no problem with microtransactions for cosmetics. Like, I bought me my beautiful Pegasus in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and never thought twice about it. But that game wasn't broken when it launched. You know, like it was.
Yeah,
it had a couple bugs here and there, of course, but like it wasn't busted.
It's not a good look. And I think with Bethesda games, you know, you just kind of experience, you expect a few bugs, like in Skyrim, but you don't expect this. And I agree, and I'm really glad you brought this up, because while I am having a good time with it, and I haven't experienced anything game-breaking or anything that's maybe rage quit and turn it off. I know a lot of people have, and maybe I'm just really lucky with my experience thus far. But just know what you're buying when you buy this game. It's not the Fallout that you've come to know and love. It's something vastly different, something that needs a lot of work. So just, you know, consumer beware, buyer beware. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I would probably suggest, unless you are a diehard Fallout enthusiast that's willing to accept all of these things, like this is a wait for it to go in the sale bin kind of a game for sure.
Or wait for them to like beef up their offerings, like
right.
see what they do with it, see how they support it over the next coming months, and then make your purchase decision then. But yeah, this is not a game that I really don't honestly even plan on playing it, because they didn't send me a copy. But also, like, I just am not, I don't know. I'm not that interested, to be quite honest. I
had fully intended on playing this game, but with so many other amazing games out in this time window, I just can't justify using my time to play this game that I know is going to be better to play in 6 months than it is to play today. Like today, Red Dead Redemption 2 is an amazing game to play, as is Assassin's Creed or Spider-Man or Tetris Effect, you know, like, or a variety of other games. I mean, shit, man, you can just keep playing Fortnite if that's your thing, because that game is well
keep on
supported.
flossing.
It's just disappointing knowing the stellar reputation that Todd Howard and his team at Bethesda Game Studios has, that they would allow something like this to go out the door so under the level of quality that we expect from their studio. And it's kind of tragic. I recently went to the Metacritic because somebody was like, I don't see any Fallout 76 reviews. And I was like, well, they're going to come rolling in late because it's an online game, much like the Destiny 2 reviews were rolling because it's an online game. But even when I looked up, it was bleak. It was a 56 Metacritic rated game, which is horrific.
Yeah.
Like,
It
that's
just
bad.
puzzles me, because I don't understand why they kind of tried to do what they did with Fallout 4 for this, because this is a different beast. This is not a single player game. So like the fact that they came out on stage, they said, here is the date. It's a hard date, basically. Like this isn't moving. And our beta is a month before. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, no, you raised that flag, Steimer, right away.
I was like, do you want to rethink this decision? Maybe, just possibly. I don't know. Like, I'm an expert, but maybe. And now here we are, and I'm like, yeah, why did no one pivot? Like, why were you not like, you know what? We should probably build in a few betas. We should feel like, or like you said, this is an early access thing. Buy it for $20 and help us grow and figure out what you want this to be with us. That would be totally acceptable. People would be down. There would be no ill will, I would think, from anybody in the community. They'd be like, oh, cool. I get to help you shape whatever the future of Fallout 76 is.
Absolutely.
But when you buy a full price retail game, I'm expecting you to have made that for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, playing it, I see the potential. I see the amount of care and detail that went into certain parts of this game. So it's like it's on the right track, but it just released way too early for that price tag. And yeah, it's unfortunate.
Well, hopefully it gets better. I eventually want to go play this game, but not right now.
Here's what I'll say for it. A rare positive spin from me.
Ooh.
Fortnite launched at $60, right?
No.
Wasn't it? Yeah, I remember buying Save the World, buying that game. You bought that game last summer.
For Save the
Not
World?
last summer.
But didn't that $60 come with a bunch of in-game currency? So like the game itself
I remember
wasn't?
being like, this is a weird thing because you just
Let me look
buy
this
this game, and then they hard pivoted to going free to play with
The full version of Fortnite is not free and costs around $42.
now, but at launch, I'm pretty sure it was full price.
Sure. I don't remember.
Because I just remember thinking that it was weird.
Oh, no, so they had a much like Paragon, they had a scaled system called the Founders Pack. So they had a standard Founders Pack, which started at $39.99 and then went all the way up to $99.99, depending on how many in-game items you got.
Sure. I don't remember that. All I remember was thinking it was too much money.
Well, I mean,
what it was
a
at the time.
$100 Founder Pack is a lot of money, but a lot of people paid that for Paragon, for example, because it includes it gives you access to all of the content updates for free up to a certain point. At least it did for Paragon up to a certain point. So I don't remember what it was, but it says the standard Founders Pack was $39.99, which would make sense. Even at retail, $39.99 is a standard retail price for a disc.
Yeah, $40. All right, fine. Maybe I was wrong. But I remember it being like buying a thing.
Right.
And then later there was just kind of like, well, maybe not. The good part of this game is free to play. Here you go. Not that I think they'll do that with this, but.
Right.
So it looks like there might have been a discrepancy between digital and retail, because somebody here in this Reddit thread does list the GameStop listing for $59.99 and the Amazon Prime listing for $47.99 and then the digital listing for $39.99.
So confusing.
Well, Jesus. Mary and Joseph.
Yeah. But I think what you're trying to say is, like, it's
like,
not...
things change.
Yeah.
The industry is fluid. There is a chance for a pivot here was kind of my point.
Yes.
Yes. That's a very optimistic way of looking at things, Steimer, and I appreciate that from you.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay, so we will hopefully have a better update on Fallout 76 down the road. But for now, hopefully if you've been playing, you've been having fun like Brett and you haven't run into any bugs and issues. But most of the people that I know that have been playing have run into quite a few things. But that's, it's never scared me off of it. But as we've mentioned, Bethesda gave us code for the game. And that obviously colors our impressions, and we want to be honest with you guys. If I had paid $60 for this game, I would probably be pissed about it. Not gonna lie. So take that into consideration however you will. Steimer.
Yeah.
You've been playing Hero U.
I did. I went back to it.
Good. How's it going?
And that was a game I paid $200 for. That was a Kickstarter for those who are confused by that statement. I was like, yes, please take my money. So Hero U was a game that I talked about a couple months ago at this point, I think, when it launched on Steam. And it's made by the old people who did Quest for Glory. That made it sound like I was calling them old. I'm sorry, I apologize. That's not what I meant to say.
I picked up what you're putting down.
Yeah, and I picked this game back up again because I was just needing comfort food in my gaming life. And I'd kind of forgotten about it, to be honest, because it's on my PC. And normally when I come home, I'm like, I gotta fire up a console to play something. And I just wasn't in the mood for that. But my computer was already on. So I was like, well, here we go. And I was like, oh shit, I haven't even like begun to scratch the surface of Hero U yet. There are so many different layers to this game. So I hopped back in, again, very much enjoying it. It is familiar to me as somebody who grew up playing those games, but I'm getting to know these new characters in this new world and really enjoying it. And I just unlocked my first like elective class, so I chose first aid so I can make myself potions so that when I go into dungeons I won't die so easily.
So sorry to interrupt you, but for people who maybe missed you talking about Hero U on the episode where we were originally discussing it, could you explain a little bit about what Hero U is?
Yes. So Hero U is sort of like the original action adventure is what I'll call it. That sort of style. What I mean by that is in Quest for Glory, when you would play this game, yes, there would be puzzles like in an adventure game, but as Brittany mentioned last week when she was playing Leisure Suit Larry, traditionally adventure game puzzles are very wacky. They do not follow logic. The puzzles here do follow logic generally. There are sometimes like weird elements, but there's usually nothing that's so batshit crazy that you're like, what the hell? Now, in Quest for Glory, a lot of the puzzles were tailored to your class. In Hero U, you join this school as a quote-unquote disbarred bard, which means you're a rogue. You're a thief. You're the thief class. And there are other classes at the school, too. So there's the traditional ones from Quest for Glory, which are paladins / fighters, and then wizards, and then those were the three main ones. Paladins were like an offshoot of the fighter class that you could only unlock after importing your character between the different games. So how you play them is you're kind of like, you are this character Sean, and you walk around. Basically, it's sort of like if you've ever played a Bethesda game, and like Skyrim, for instance, the way you level up a skill is by doing that skill. So all I do is sneak around the castle all of the time because it levels up my sneaking. Yeah, you look super weird, but it levels up your sneaking ability constantly. So I have like level 50 stealth at this point because
you just sneak everywhere.
But you have like a practice room where you'll go practice your throwing. You can lift weights. Like you're basically doing the things to build those stats up. And then you can kind of go through. There's a storyline that you're following. Like there's a little journal, which is super helpful. When I went back into this game, I was like, wait, what the fuck was I doing? Then went back through the journal. I was like, yes, okay, cool. So you have like little storylines. You have relationship meters with all the different characters. Sometimes what you say will make them mad. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes they like you. Sometimes they don't.
Can you bang them?
You can flirt. I don't know. I mean, they're mostly like, I don't know if they're teenagers or in college. This is college, I think. So maybe.
That's not weird.
In Quest for Glory, there were two women that you could like marry toward the end. You could either marry Irana or you could marry Katrina, who is a vampire, and Irana's like a mystical fae, like wizard magician thing.
Okay.
So they're both pretty badass. And in this one, there's actually a girl who she reminds me very much of Katrina. Her name is Esme. And I was just like, oh, I see what you're doing here. Like trying to get a little Katrina vibes going on. Yeah. Little vampire, little red eyes, cool. And I'm flirting with her. I don't know what this will be.
Turn into. Sure.
Yeah, but it's still fun to flirt. And like the thing that I always really enjoyed about these games was the writing. It's very funny. Like they're very quippy people. Also, if you are going to dive in and try playing this game, save a lot, because this is the type of game where, like, for instance, in the first game, and I imagine in this one, but I haven't done it because I'm smart enough not to do it, is you can practice picking locks by using them on yourself. You could, like, pick your nose. But if your lock picking skill was too low, you would kill yourself on accident because you would, like, stab the thing up into your brain.
Jesus, that's horrifying.
It just, like, pops up on the box and it's like, haha,
Okay.
fucked up.
So
And
let's say I'm in this game and I want to practice my lock picking. Would I stick a lock pick up my nostril and I would try to twist it? And if I fucked up, I would go up into my brain.
No.
Oh.
No. So this was the original game, and how you're supposed to practice lockpicking is by going to a locked door and just practicing.
Yes.
You just put the icon of the lockpicks on the door, and then it goes and it does the door, until eventually either someone hears you and you need to get the fuck out of there, or you open the door.
Yes.
But another way that you could do it that was just a stupid Easter egg is you could grab have the lockpick icon and put it on your character, like just click it on your character.
Oh.
And then it would just say, a little dialogue box pops up and is like, you pick your nose. But if your lockpicking skill is too low, instead of picking your nose, you accidentally stab yourself through the brain and you die and it's game over.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
Yes.
This sounds really stressful, Steimer. I don't think I could do this.
No, just don't do stupid shit like that.
Practice your lock picking on your nose. It's
Don't
fine.
stick lockpicks up your nose.
That seems like good life advice.
And like save your game. But so there's also combat in this game, which is kind of where I think I was going. So yes, there are light puzzles you have to figure out. There is a ghost dog painting that I'm gonna have to figure out how to make him happy. I don't know why he's
Give him a treat.
so like you have to you do get items in your inventory and you do have to kind of figure out certain things. But there's also a combat element to this game, and I don't know how it will grow moving forward because again I'm still very early on. But as a disbarred bard, you mostly have like daggers. You can throw things at people, and I'm assuming that when I take magic classes or fighting classes, I will be able to use different weapons or different skills. But right now I'm mostly just fighting giant rats in a dungeon.
Sounds right.
So that I
Also
don't
sounds terrifying.
die. Yeah. But yeah, so like that's kind of gameplay wise what it feels like. There's a bit of light puzzles. It's mostly story. You get to interact with characters, and then there's some combat. So
Sounds
again,
fun.
it's action adventure in the traditional sense.
I was just visiting my aunt yesterday, and she's actually playing this right now. She also backed it on.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
She is a big fan, going back to DOS, of adventure games and stuff like that. So she's all about it, and she's really enjoying it.
Yeah, if you liked adventure games at all growing up, I'm gonna tell you to go buy this game mostly because I really want you to support them because I love them very much.
Aww.
They're wonderful people and they deserve your support. And that's enough of me being nice. So someone else something else.
Well, let me bring everybody down with a sad story.
Oh no.
So I haven't played really much of anything for about a week because last Thursday I had a personal emergency with one of my pets. You guys may have seen on Twitter or heard about it lightly on Games Daily on Friday, or seen something on Facebook that I had to bring one of my cats to the emergency hospital. So what happened was I was just noticing over the last week or so that he'd been breathing kind of heavy. And I was like, oh, it looks like he's like, it's hard for him to breathe. Like he's like breathing out with extra force. And I'm like, that's weird. Why are you doing that? But he didn't seem uncomfortable or in pain.
Like stressed.
Yeah, he was going about his regular routine. He, in hindsight, I was like, oh yeah, he wasn't hunting at night like he normally does. And he's a little bit more lethargic than normal. And he wasn't eating as much. And now that I've added up all the symptoms, I was like, my God, I can't believe I didn't see this sooner. But it was the breathing thing that I noticed that I was like, you know what? We should probably go see the vet. You weren't breathing like this before. So I made an appointment and she said, well, we have to go into the hospital because he has to get a chest x-ray because we can't figure out what's happening with his breathing without an x-ray. I'm like, that makes sense. That's the way humans are usually too. So took him to the kitty hospital, got an x-ray. X-ray's like, wow, there's a lot of fluid like crushing his lungs and his heart right now. I'm like, that sounds terrifying. What's causing that? And they're like, we don't know. We got to do more tests. We got to take you to the hospital. Because we were at a clinic and then the hospital was like around the corner. Go to the hospital. They admit him and they start to run more tests, including an ultrasound and some additional blood tests and things like that. And they find out that he is in severe congestive heart failure, which, as any parent would tell you, whether you have fur babies or real babies, would be terrifying to hear that the thing that you love is going through it. I'm just like freaking out. So I spent all day in the hospital with him as they were treating him and withdrawing all the fluid from his lungs and making sure that he could breathe. And I was like, I couldn't even think of it. And because normally games are the thing for me that I go to play to escape. But like I was so distraught and I needed to be present that I couldn't like put my headset on and like escape into anything because I felt like I needed to be there in case they called at any moment. So I had to admit him to the hospital, which he's never been in a pet hospital before. He hasn't been into a veterinarian office since I left Los Angeles. So like 5 years, because the vet that I use here in the Bay Area is an in-home vet. She will come to the house and like do their blood work and do their checkups and everything here in my house. So I don't have to take them in, which is great because cats are notoriously difficult to travel with. And so I was just like in a really bad place, like freaking out, thinking that my cat's about to die. But luckily, thank you to the amazing medical team at the NorCal Veterinary and Emergency Pet Hospital here in the San Francisco Bay. They removed all the fluid and they put him on some cardiac medicine, a blood thinner, and a diuretic to get all the fluid out of him. And now I have to take him to a cat cardiologist on Monday because that was the soonest appointment that we could get. And it's been a whole weekend because what they didn't tell me, which has actually been the most challenging part about this, is that he was only gone from our house for 26 hours. But when I brought him back, his brother of 12 years, they're litter mates. They've always been together. They've lived with each other for literally a decade. Did not know who he was. And
what?
Yeah. So cats have this weird like scent sharing thing that I've learned all about over the last 3 days. That if they get some kind of weird or hostile scent on them, like it's essentially like they don't recognize that animal, even though they've literally lived together for years, many, many years. And so when I brought Ghost home from the hospital to kind of rest at home and I let him out of the kennel, I was expecting his brother to run up and lick him on the face and be like, oh my God, you're back. Because Maverick, my other cat, was at home, like freaking out that his brother was gone. He was like stress grooming and we were trying to keep him calm and all of this. And then he just started hissing and growling at him instantly. And I was like, no, wait, what's happening? Because my cats are super chill. You two know this.
Yeah, they like lick
Each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mutual grooming thing that house cats do, but they're like the most chill cats and they're super friendly and they are not aggressive in any manner whatsoever. They'll come right up to you and want snuggles and belly rubs and like, so like I was beside myself with this new thing. Not only did my one cat almost die in severe congestive heart failure, probably has cardiomyopathy, a heart disease that I have to treat now for the rest of his life. At one point, the doctor was like, it might be cancer. And I was like, wait, what? Still thinks the cancer's on the table. We're going to find out from the cardiologist. But then my other cat didn't recognize him when he came home and tried to fight him. And I'm like, he was just in the hospital. He almost died. Why are you trying to fight him?
That's when you got to strike, Andrea, when they're weak.
It was a really rough weekend.
I can't even imagine,
Wait,
dude.
so like the scent thing, so theoretically, if you had bathed him, would that have fixed it? I don't understand.
So
like,
it might have, but the last thing I wanted to do after my poor baby had been in the hospital was to bathe him. But I do have wipes. And so I tried wiping him. I tried doing the thing where you take a towel and you like wipe their face where their scent glands are, and you wipe it on the other cat, where you give them your clothes to like lay in or sleep in so that they smell like you. I did all of the things that like the guides are like, this is how you reintegrate pets, that have been gone. And it took 4 days. But finally last night, Mav let Ghost get close enough to his face where he could lick it, and I literally started crying. And I was like, oh my God, they didn't fight. He didn't hiss. He didn't swat at him. I think they might be friends. And now, starting today, they're now both grooming each other and laying with each other again. And I'm like, oh, praise Jesus.
God.
Ugh.
So how can you prevent this going forward? Can you bring them together?
Yeah,
Like, what?
Maverick's always coming to the vet appointments now. That's just happening. Good. But the problem is like if Ghost for some reason has to be hospitalized again, like there's no way to prevent that, right? Like even if I bring Maverick to the hospital and he's in there temporarily while I admit Ghost, like there's nothing I can do if Ghost has to be admitted because they had to give him an IV and a kitty catheter. And like they had to, so he has a big stripe on his paw that's been shaved from where they inserted the needle, and he's got a stripe on his chest that's been shaved where they inserted the giant needle to withdraw all the fluid. They withdrew almost 250 milliliters of fluid from his chest cavity. It's like a cup of fluid, and my cat is 12 pounds. Like
apparently a lot of that was fluid.
Yeah, it was crazy how much fluid they took out. I had no idea. So just a reminder, not only for your pets, to always be vigilant if anything and their behavior changes, even if it's small. Don't hesitate to like talk to your vet about it. At the very least, like send an email or call and just ask. But also with us, like it's funny because I talked to one of my really close friends about everything that was happening. And she was like, yo, that exact same thing happened to my mom because turns out humans get congestive heart failure in the same way. That it usually manifests in breathing issues. But as a human, we can identify it within ourselves and be like, yo, I'm breathing weird. It feels different. I should maybe talk to somebody about that. But sometimes we don't. Maybe we're sick for a long time. And, we let it go and then it turns into something serious. So just a friendly reminder, like, trust your body. If it's telling you something's wrong, like you should maybe go see somebody about that before it turns into like severe congestive heart failure.
That's very good advice. And I'm not going to pivot. I'm going to talk about something relative, but it's going to, you'll see where I'm going with this. I thought my dog had flycatcher syndrome, which is where it's like a minor epileptic thing because he would randomly look all around him and freak out, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out when he has to poop, it itches. So it turns out it's just a poop thing. So pets are weird.
I mean, it's hard because you can't talk to them.
They can't talk to you. And I thought my dog was having a seizure. I thought he was having a brain issue.
I remember when he was going through that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just turns out whenever he starts looking at his butt or looking like he's looking around, he's trying to figure out why his butt's so itchy, and I have to take him out to go poop. But it's the same sort of thing.
Hey,
you have to be vigilant.
At least it's like helpful, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, but it's the same sort of thing, man. They can't talk to you, so you just have to be extra like, you're acting a little off today, sir. I'm going to write that down in your baby book, and I'm going to keep an eye on that. Animals.
Yeah, so I didn't really play much, but I did watch Anchorman, which I hadn't seen in forever, and
classic.
Still just as good.
Classic.
As when that came out.
I have seen that one.
It's so
I have
good.
seen that movie.
Did I talk? I was meaning to go back and listen to the show. Did I talk about my experience wandering around in Red Dead, like not doing story missions, but just like opening the map?
kind of. You said you're at a point where it's not as enjoyable anymore for reasons you want to talk about,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah. No, but you know what that reason is.
Yes.
Yeah, I found a bunch of random stuff on the map, and now John's jealous because he's like, you found all this cool shit on the map that I never found. And I was like, dude, I just decided that I wanted to like clear the fog on the map. And so I went up to the very top and I just like rode all the way across. But then I got into that terrible position where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get back to a story mission. And then I'm way out in bumfuck nowhere. And I'm like, where's the closest town? Oh, it's easily a 20-minute horse ride away. Now what do I do? Quit. I stopped playing. That's what
There are so many interesting things to find in that game. After I finished it, I went through and read all of the things that other players had found, and it's fascinating. Some of the things you can find. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's been...
I'm still playing that too, but I decided to take a break to play something else. Number one, so I wouldn't be talking about it every week, but then...
Yeah, no, a palette cleanse is important. I did reinstall Amplitude on my PlayStation. When John got home from his trip, he's like, why is Amplitude in the crossbar? And I was like, well, after everything that happened at not only at Kind of Funny's extra live stream, but also when we were there for the XO18 live stream, Tim Geddes keeps throwing down about Amplitude and how he made it his personal mission to make sure that he bested all of my high scores because I was the only person in his friends list that had beat him in every single level in score. And so over the last year, he's taken time every month to practice and beat my score in every single song. And
Oh
so
my God.
I was like, okay, fine. I haven't thought about Amplitude in a long time, since it came out probably. And so I was like, all right, let me re-download it and boot this back up. And man, was I rusty. I was looking at the scores, and also shout out to my sister for being the best at Amplitude ever. I told Tim, I was like, Tim, you think that your scores are cool shit. Wait till I log in and I show you my sister's scores, and then you'll cry in a corner because she's so good at that game. But yeah, so I was playing Amplitude because I got so inspired by Tetris Effect and how amazing the music is in Tetris Effect. And again, if you guys have not played that game, I cannot recommend Tetris Effect enough. And how I'm so upset after having just looked at the Game Awards nominations that we didn't get this game soon enough to nominate it for sound design and best score, because the sound design in that game and the way that it complements the gameplay is really unique and really fantastic and absolutely deserves accolades. Not to say that the games that are nominated don't also deserve them, but I would have been really happy to do so, but didn't quite make the cutoff. But Amplitude is just one of those throwback games that is my comfort food because the rhythm and music genre has such a special place in my heart, which is why I really want to like Persona Dancing All Night. Like, I want to like that series, but it's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the style of music or whatever. When's the embargo up for that, Britt? Is it soon? Can you talk about what you've been playing?
Not until
a while.
It's not up anytime soon. Yeah,
I don't think you can announce the date on air here, but it's not up yet. But I played it back at Judges Week at E3. I played a couple of different ones that they had there, the Japanese builds. And I was just like, I should be better at this. This is my thing that I'm really good at.
Let's talk after the show.
I literally was on a reality show about how good I am at rhythm and music games. Like, I should be able to do this, and I failed.
You also didn't like our theme song at first, so like maybe it's just the music's not jiving with you.
We talked about that recently. I got to see friend of the show Dale North, who, if you guys aren't aware, is the composer for the What's Good Games theme. You can download and find the song on his SoundCloud page. And when he first proposed this theme song to us, because of course I reached out to Dale. He's a fantastic video game and music composer and has worked on tons of games. And I was like, we are starting a show, and I could think of nobody better to compose our show or our theme. You know, can you help us out? And then he submitted it to us, and all of the girls except for me were like, "This is dope," and I was like, "It's so Japanesey."
It sounds like an anime.
Yeah, you said it sounded like anime, and I was like, "That's why I love it."
Yeah, it was so good.
Obviously, I love it now, and I came to love it pretty quickly after listening to it for a few times. But it's just not the style of music that I instantly gravitate towards. But
Right.
anyway, I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent, but that's why I haven't played. I was supposed to play Battlefield 5. EA provided me with a code, and I wanted to check out the war stories and talk to you guys about that. So that coverage is coming. I also wanted to play more Hitman 2. That coverage is coming, but I just had to take a step back and deal with some like real world, like adult stuff.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Of course. Speaking of Hitman, Steimer, a lot of folks in the comments wanted us to let you know, wanted me to let you know, that there are prologue missions you can do if you have not
Wait,
found
it
them.
doesn't dump you into them?
Apparently not. And I think someone said it's because
Yeah, it's a bad call.
it's the same prologue mission from a couple years ago. I believe that's what I read, but it is there and it does teach you the mechanics.
Okay. I'll have to
So-
go find it, I guess. What a
I
weird
guess
thing.
that's weird. That's very strange.
Why didn't you just do okay, fine.
Yeah,
Whatever,
it's a thing.
fine.
It's a thing that
Everything's fine,
exists.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to go. I was gonna. When I went to Hero U, it was because I didn't want to go back to Hitman.
Yeah.
I was just like, I want to play a game I know how to play. I know how to play this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back to my roots.
Those are your good roots.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we will have things from Brittany that we're transitioning into right now, because you may be asking yourself, excuse me, didn't a giant Nintendo Switch game come out this last week that everybody is throwing Pokeballs at? And to that, I would say, yes, this segment has been long, but you know we ain't leaving until we talk about Pokemon Let's Go.
Let's go.
Hell
Tell
no,
me
I would talk about this game no matter what. Yeah, so I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I am having. So this is okay. Personally, that's confusing. It's confusing, I know, but I'm gonna try to do my best here.
Okay.
I need to word vomit this out.
Okay.
Personally, as a fan of Pokemon, I am having a very, very good time. Jason and I are playing together. I am player 1. He is my.
And you're
assistant.
playing Let's Go Pikachu, right?
We're actually doing Let's Go Eevee.
Oh, okay.
I know last week I said we're gonna play what I want to play, which is Pikachu, but
He convinced you to play Eevee.
No,
That's love.
I wanted to do a midnight launch, and Best Buy was not doing a midnight launch. However,
Wait, really? For Pokemon?
no, I know, and that's where I had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, the bundles pre-ordered, but the GameStop this is at our mall. The GameStop just down the hall was, so I said, okay, well screw it, I'm buying another copy, and I'm canceling one of the pre-orders at Best Buy. And because I want my Pikachu bundle, Jason said he didn't care if he only got. Anyway, long story short, we're playing Eevee.
Okay.
We did a midnight launch. It was a good time. Drank way too much at the bar inside the mall in anticipation. Anyway,
Nice.
so
Wait,
personally,
was that when you were drunk texting us?
no, that was
Oh, that's a different
2
day.
days later.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Just
drank
checking.
over the past 4 days. It's been
Hey,
great.
it's okay to be drunk. You're an adult.
Hey, no, it's great. Do it
It's just
more.
like- yeah, girl. I know I was sending some mushy texts, but it was great. Anyway, so personally, as a fan of someone who grew up with Pokemon and who played Blue, I'm having a very good time with it. It's essentially the same game. Obviously, there are different the catching mechanics are completely different. Obviously, the graphic overhaul is completely different, but the same trainers, is most of the same dialogue, the same story. It's all the same for the most part. So from that standpoint, it's like, okay, this is nostalgic. This is a trip down memory lane. Playing next to Jason is fun. I love the Pokemon spawning on screen. This is something I want the Pokemon games to continue to do going forward. It's more interactive. It's much more exciting than the random battles. From a critical perspective, I struggle because I understand what this game is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a gateway for new Pokemon fans who are playing, Pokemon Go. Hey, like you can hop into this Pokemon Let's Go, and it's essentially a game from 1996, so it's not all that complicated. You can just hop in and go, literally. So I understand that, but there've literally been hardly any quality of life improvements in this game. in the sense that they reuse the same NPCs over and over again. You know, most of the trainer battles are required, so that means you can't take more than 15, 20 steps in a cave or in a dungeon or whatnot and have to be forced to do this battle. And not to mention the catching mechanic of having to throw. I'm not even trying the Pokeball because I did that at E3 and it was just a hot mess. And from what I've heard from anyone else doing it, it's just not good. The problem is when you come across a rare spawn in this game and you're very, very excited for it, you have to rely on the motion controls. And that is where we're having some problems. I would say 6.3 out of 10 times it works just fine.
6.3 out of 10.
That's a very specific
there are
number.
those 3.7 times out of 10 that the ball just goes completely left, completely right, completely misses the Pokemon, and it takes all strategy out of it. Besides, you can feed them berries to try to calm their tits so they don't jump around and try to escape all the time. But other than that, it's all based off the motion controls, which is unfortunate for a variety of reasons. But specifically what I'm talking about is you want to try to employ that strategy and you want to get that rare Mr. Mime or whatever it is you're going for. But because of the motion controls, they escape. And now you're just like, well, that sucked.
So you're saying the motion controls only work 63% of the time?
Yes.
That's bad. That's really bad.
That's my experience. I don't know if it's because the Switch is far away from me. I don't know, but I feel like it.
Or are you playing it docked? I assume?
Yes, playing it docked. And, you know, we're throwing the thing, and sometimes it goes left and it goes right. And it's particularly hard when you have the Pokemon who hop from left to center to right to center to left. Because if you're on the far right, you got to try to, okay, so how do I throw to the right? And usually it'll go left. It's not that great. That said, I'm having a good time with it. It's nostalgic. The music is fun. It's remixed. It's a trip down memory lane, but it is just literally the game. So I would be really
So which
curious.
game again is it?
Huh?
Which game is it a remake of?
It's essentially Pokemon Yellow.
Pokemon Yellow. Okay.
Right. So I would be curious to know if people who have not played a Pokemon game before can hop into this and have a good time. I think it's simple enough for people to understand and grasp. It doesn't really follow your hand on where to go or what to do, so you have to be prepared to explore your way around to figure out your next path. But, you know, it's hard because I'm conflicted because I can play a few hours a night and then I kind of get bored with it. My favorite part is finding the Pokemon, wandering around and capturing them. I don't like the mandatory trainer battles. There's too many of them.
You can't even like sneak around them like you used to?
Some you can, because they turn certain angles, and then at that point, but there's some that you just can't. And so when I'm in the cave, I want to wait for this, you know, Onyx spawn or whatever it is I'm looking for, but there's just trainer after trainer after trainer. It feels like a slog to get through. And
How long are the trainer battles?
Oh gosh, just maybe a few minutes.
Okay.
But there's just so many of them. And Jason made a comment last night. He said, man, maybe the Pokemon formula just is getting old for you. And I said, I don't feel like it's this bad in the newer installments. And what I would like to see going forward in the series is less mandatory trainer battles, make them optional, but make them drawn out and maybe 5 Pokemon each with the variety. Because right now,
are
you know,
you just fighting 1-on-1?
Trainers?
Yeah.
So
no, I mean
it's
like one Pokemon versus one Pokemon when
it's
trainer.
one Pokemon versus Jason and my Pokemon. So I have an Ivysaur and he currently has a Charmeleon. So
it's 2 versus 1?
It's 2 versus 1.
So what even is the point? You're going to win.
So it's not challenging at all, obviously. And I don't think this is a game that's meant to be challenging. So just to wrap it all up.
It's basically Pokemon without any of the depth that made it interesting.
So the Pokemon catching is just, okay, so the Pokemon catching is you throw the Pokeball and you feed it berries. The trainers and the gym battles are like your standard Pokemon battles where you have the set list of moves to choose from. So, you know, you have like your Sand Attack, your Gust.
The full list?
You have about 4 moves to choose from, right, per Pokemon.
Okay, yeah, that's standard.
That's
But, like
standard.
you only have, because the part that I never understood, because I never played it at any of the events where it was playable. Can you swap between Pokemon, or do you always have one Pokemon on you at all time?
You
like,
can
do you have a
swap.
team?
You have a team of 6.
Okay, great.
Yes, you have your
Cool.
team of 6 anytime, and you know you start with the XP share from the get-go. So you know I'm having a good time. The part I'm struggling with is the fan in me is like, oh, this is super fun, but the critic in me is like, they reskinned this, but there have been no major quality of life changes. So I would just say have the proper expectations going into this, know what you're getting, and you'll have a good time. Just, yeah.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I can hear in your voice that you don't like this as much as
You
you wanted to.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's interesting because I talked obviously to Tim about this a lot because he's a resident Pokemon fanboy, and he was convinced that it was gonna do crazy numbers, and I was like, I don't know. Everything I've seen from previews suggests otherwise, and now hearing what you're saying means that the word of mouth might not be good enough for it to do anything crazy. But I think the expectation was that this was going to be a companion game to everything that Niantic is doing with Pokemon Go, that was going to kind of like whet your palate for the Pokemon RPG that's coming hopefully in 2019. And that this is just like a tide over so that Nintendo is going into holiday 2018 with one of their flagship franchises on the Nintendo Switch, since they don't have Mario or Zelda.
Yeah, 100%. And, I feel like the expectation, like you said, has been set very clear. This is not the next hardcore installment into the series. This is something that's supposed to be a gateway, that your child can play with you. Something that maybe, imagine if they start, I don't know if they're doing this already, but advertising this on the Pokemon Go app. Think of how many people play that and say, hey, did you know that there's a game on this thing called the Nintendo Switch, and it's like this but way better, and these are the things it does. I think that's more of the market they're tapping into, obviously, as well as people like me, even Steimer, who has the nostalgia with the series. And I would totally have recommended this for best family game for a Game of the Ward Zoms if it would have been, if we could have. But yeah, I mean, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. It's a trip down memory lane. And so I think the important thing for me is to turn off that critic side of my brain and just let me be a fan and enjoy it for what it is. And just have those expectations.
That's fair.
So I am 3 badges in. I just got to Lavender Town, so I still have a lot more of this game to play. I'm taking my time with it. We're trying to catch everything. We want to get the full Pokedex. We're not using any of the Pokemon Go integration. We want to catch all the things on our own. So some people are already finishing it and completing their Pokedexes, and damn, you're good and fast. I don't know how you're doing it.
Skills, man.
Skills. So
I wonder how Goldfarb's doing.
Well, I
Andrea,
think said that he was going to import from Pokemon Go.
Are you going to play this, Andrea? Do you have any interest?
I was going to. Yeah, I was going to dabble because, I need to see what this Pokemon hype is all about.
I mean,
the last Pokemon that I tried was Pokemon X, and I played that for like 2 hours. So it's been a while.
You would be a very good candidate.
Don't go into it with like, this is the Pokemon hype, because it's not the next RPG.
Well, no, I mean, I just literally said that exact whole thing, that this is not the thing.
I know. I'm scared.
I know, Steimer. I'm not going to go into this game being like, this is the best Pokemon game ever.
It's so good.
But I
Look
played
at all these cute little fluffy creatures.
Yeah, I played a lot of Pokemon Go when it first came out, and I enjoyed playing that game. And granted, like, obviously Pokemon purists would be like, Pokemon Go is not Pokemon. But, like, I think that it opened the door for people like me who missed Pokemon when I was a kid, because I just did not play it, did not get into it. I was more of a Mario girl, Donkey Kong, and then went straight into like arcade racing games and just skipped Pokemon altogether. That now as an adult, clearly I need to know about Pokemon for my career, what we do here on the show. And it would be silly of me to not even take some time to check it out. But that being said, I have Diablo 3 on my Switch. So when it comes down to playing Diablo 3 or Pokemon Let's Go, I can't say for certain.
I haven't played before.
Maybe this would be fun for me, actually. If you can hold off playing Pokemon Let's Go until we're in town next, I would love to sit next to you and watch you play this and kind of pick your brain as you play it and see what your thoughts are as you play it. Okay. Yeah.
We can stream it.
We should record it.
Yeah. No, we can stream it. It'd be fun.
I don't even mean that. Even if we just did it on our iPhones, it'd be funny.
It would. Your reactions
like,
would be
what
good.
the
Okay, cool.
hell
Let's
is
plan on
this?
doing that, because that's what I'm super curious about. Are people who haven't really played a lot of Pokemon, what do they think of this? Is this enough to maybe convince you to get into the next Pokemon coming out next year, or does it not? I don't know.
Okay, well then I'll wait. I'll hold off. And
Cool.
we can have that experience together.
Oh.
But for now, it's time to take our second break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of our favorite Black Friday memories, since it is indeed Black Friday today. Stick with us, everybody. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. It's the final segment of the What's Good Games podcast, and our feature segment this week is brought to you by MeUndies. This holiday season, you can get everything you need for you and your loved ones at MeUndies.com. We at What's Good Games have been wearing MeUndies for a while. Actually, Steimer was the one who turned us on to the amazing softness that is MeUndies. Do you have a favorite style? Is it boy shorts?
So I like to wear boy shorts to sleep. And then normally, I'm going to feel like this is really personal, but I do normally wear thongs.
Thongs are great.
Wedgies are bad.
Listen, panty lines under your
Panty lines
pants,
are not
nobody
something
wants
I'm
that.
fond of.
Yeah, exactly. So what's great about MeUndies is not only are they super cute, but they're also super comfortable, and they use the coveted micromodal fabric, which is 3 times softer than cotton. If you've never felt this fabric, get ready to experience pure bliss in underwear form.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, I have to ask, who doesn't love a good holiday print? This year, MeUndies will be releasing a new print every Tuesday. That means
That's
you'll
crazy.
have yeah, I know. That means you'll have no excuse not to celebrate the holidays right now, all the way down to your booty. And some of the new prints that they've already released are super cute. They have these little bears that have like little antlers on. They are adorable. It's like this cool blue color. But I ask again, why stop at undies? This year, MeUndies is also launching their holiday prints in lounge pants and onesies as well.
Onesie would be real nice.
I think some onesie ordering is gonna happen. Both, of course, are made from the same micromodal fabric as their undies, and MeUndies has a great offer for What's Good Games listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you go to MeUndies.com, you'll get 15% off and free shipping when you use our special code. That is MeUndies.com/WGG. That's 15% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. And on top of that, they've got free shipping and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. John loves these. It took me a little bit of convincing because he previously was a very traditional boxers guy. And then I was like, hey, I got these underwear. I got us the holiday, Valentine's Day matching set. I got the briefs, and I got him the boxer briefs, and I was like, just try them out. I know that they're not your usual thing, and now he just adores them and has bought tons of pairs of these. I will say, if you're like me and you like them to feel a little bit comfortable and not be too tight at all or too fitted, you might want to consider sizing up in MeUndies, because I have found that I've had to size up and I'm a lot happier going to size up. Just a personal tip. If you like your stuff super fitted, that's a personal choice. I like my stuff to be a little bit giving, particularly around the waistband.
Around the holidays.
Yeah, going into Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving underwear.
And all of the cookies and sweets and inevitables that are going to happen in the month of December. Maybe you want to just size up. Just food for thought. Again, MeUndies, MEUNDIES.com/WGG, and you will get 15% off your first pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. So thank you to MeUndies for sponsoring the show. Again, please do check out their holiday prints. They are super cute. And you can get matching pairs, whether you want to get double boxers and a ladies brief, or maybe double ladies briefs, whoever your pair is. If you want to match your butts, you can do it. Get that booty match going on. It's fun.
I like that. Get that booty match.
Get that booty match. Everyone likes a good booty, right?
Especially
Booty's like a universal thing that people like.
Yeah.
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 Now I'm thinking about butts.
Butts in general are just nice.
Not all of them, but most are good.
You know what I'm saying. You know.
There's so many different kinds of butts too. That's the best part.
Were great.
All right. So before we devolve into a conversation purely about butts, which wouldn't be terrible, but we do have to talk about. Well, have to is a strong word. We would like to talk about some of our Black Friday memories. So we were trying to figure out during the pre-show what we were going to talk about in the third segment this week, and Bernie, one of our pre-show patrons, was like, "Why don't you talk about Black Friday sales?" And I was like, well, we could talk about that, but that'd also be fun to talk about our Black Friday memories, because it's crazy to think just how Black Friday has evolved over the last 5 years. And it hasn't even been that long since a traditional Black Friday has really just disappeared to what Black Friday is now, where stores are opening at 2 p.m. on Thanksgiving, whereas before, like, no stores were open on Thanksgiving at all. And kind of like where that has got to, and where people, or what people think about that from, you know, like an ethics standpoint, like should people have the holiday off, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously, you know, thank you to all of our international fans who are listening that are patiently going through this. I know Black Friday is this weird, crazy American thing that we do where we get really obsessed with
Consumerism, huzzah!
running in and buying $100 TV or whatever the hell the deal is this year. But when did you ladies start participating in Black Friday? Do you remember?
I was working at the Department of Corrections at the time, and one of my good friends and coworkers at the time, Erin, she decided we should do this. I think we were 19 or 20. And we decided, you know what, let's do this. This will be great.
And by let's do this, you mean like physically going somewhere?
Physically going in. We would sleep in the back of her Jeep in the parking lot.
Wow,
Lovely.
that's commitment.
No, like that's what it used to be.
That's what it was. We would go park her car, or I would stay the night at her house. But one year we got innovative, so we made we put a little sleeping bag situation in the back of her Jeep, and then we knew, I think it was Best Buy. I think she wanted to get her then boyfriend, now husband, an Xbox 360.
Wow.
So yeah,
Deep
so
cuts.
we were waiting for that store to open, and we would wake up every like 20 minutes and look out to see if the line was forming. And then I think eventually the line got way too long because we overslept, but then we got in the line and we got him an Xbox 360, and we did that. We went every year.
Was it really worth it?
No, absolutely not. It was more about the experience.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, yeah, we did that for maybe 3 or 4 years. And then one year, I think we both were just, because first of all, the Apple Cup, which is the UW Huskies versus Wazoo Cougars, is every Black Friday. And, you know, that's usually a very good game. The rivalry is intense. Sometimes it's here in Seattle. We like to go. And then I think that just got in the way. And so one year we're like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we doing this? We don't need to be doing this anymore. It was fun is what I will say. The experience and the energy. But since then, I'm just, no, thank you. I'll sleep in my bed and go on Amazon and do Cyber Monday stuff and call it a day.
Dude, like, it's so crazy now. So how I did not do Black Friday at all pretty much growing up. Like, we just never did. I don't know. I think we just wanted to sleep. I don't know, but
That's a good reason.
I was like, I don't want to. Number one, I don't like crowds. Don't like them. Don't want to be in there with them. I feel like maybe I have gone to. I don't think it was a Black Friday though. I think it was some other sale, like an anniversary sale. I think the anniversary sale at Nordstrom is the closest I've gotten to a Black Friday crowd at a mall, because I just generally don't fuck with that. I don't like it. But now, as I've gotten older and have more money, thank God, I have gotten more into Black Friday. And I'm like, I have a list sitting in front of me of things that I'm looking at to see if they go on sale this week. And most of them have already, which is crazy because it's Tuesday. Like, a lot of the stuff, it's like just getting earlier and earlier, because they're all like, well, it's online. Who cares? Like, just, and they're like, they extend it. Before it'd be like, okay, it's Black Friday. It's Friday. That's it. And then Small Business Saturday became a thing, and Cyber Monday became a thing. And now I feel like a lot of brands are just like, fuck it. Here's a week. Here's like 25 whatever % off they want.
Yeah, totally.
Go
I
nuts.
got a Cyber Monday deal with deals like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not Cyber Monday, it's like Wednesday. What's happening?
No, this is like E3 all over again. People are just spreading it out.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see how it evolved. I vividly remember one of the Black Fridays that I really committed to was in 2010 in December, because I remember because I was on break and I couldn't afford to fly home, and so I stayed in Los Angeles and was bartending over the holiday. And this is when I was working for Mahalo Video Games, and I was playing Mass Effect 2. And I was up all night. I was like, I'm just going to stay up all night and play Mass Effect 2. And then at like 3 a.m., I'm going to put some clothes on and drive down, because 4 a.m. used to be the time, like when stores would open on Friday morning for Black Friday. And if you wanted to get like the electronics deals, you had to line up like at midnight or even earlier, like the day before, depending on what store it was and what deal it was. And I remember going out, and my big thing about Black Friday, and even to this day, I never mess with the electronics deals. People are too crazy. It gets too wild. It gets violent. Like, people are like trying to kill each other to get these
Those
TV
videos
boxes
that
and
come
things.
out. Oh,
right?
man.
Terrifying.
So for me, my goal on Black Friday is clothing, because almost every clothing shop in the mall does some kind of 40 to 60% off range of the entire store. You can get amazing clothing deals on Black Friday. And so as somebody who is on camera all the time, I'm always needing a variety of clothing. And so I've always loved going clothes shopping on Black Friday, or shoe shopping. So I remember getting up and going out to the store at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I think it was maybe 2012 or 2013, somewhere in the 2011 to 2013 range was one of the first years that they moved Black Friday up to midnight. I remember it being like a big controversy that it was no longer at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It was now like midnight on Thanksgiving. And the very first year, I vividly remember just driving out, be like, hey, it's midnight. Like, I'm awake. I'm like a 20-something adult or whatever. Like, it's like, this is great for me. Like, I would rather go shopping at midnight. I remember going out to a Fry's Electronics I think it was in Burbank in Los Angeles. And the line was around the entire building just to get inside the store. And I drove by and I was just like, you know what? No, thanks. I think I'm good. And I went to like the Glendale Galleria or something nearby and was like, Old Navy is doing 50% off everything. This is the best.
There you go.
And that was like more my speed. Like, where's like the Bath and Body Works so I can get like the 2-for-1 candles or whatever.
All those 3 lit candles, so good.
Like, that's
what we did last year.
That's where I bought $200 worth of candles the other night. Remember, they were doing
girl.
buy 2 get 2 free, and I was like drunk at Cheesecake Factory buying candles at Bath and Body Works.
That's what happened to us. I think this was last year.
It can happen to you. Candle buying.
No, we were drunk and we wanted the Twisted Peppermint candles because those are our favorite during Christmas time.
Twisted
And
Peppermint, huh?
Oh, God, it's so good.
I don't know if I know that one. I'm more of a fresh balsam girl, but I'll have to try the Twisted Peppermint.
I love you. Yes, Twisted Peppermint, delicious smelling. Have not tasted this. Cannot confirm.
Hopefully
So
not.
Don't
Yeah.
taste it.
you know. So they were doing their amazing Black Friday sale, and we ordered 2 cases of the candles. And
2
so
cases?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things don't last very long. If you burn them for like 3 or 4 hours at a time, they're gone in 2 days, 3 days.
So this was just yesterday, we were like, okay, because the day after Thanksgiving, because we're hosting Thanksgiving this year, we're fucking decorating for Christmas. It's on like Donkey Kong. So we have to have our peppermint candle set and ready to go. And then we remembered that we ordered 2 cases last year. So we are more than set and ready to go with our Twisted
That's
Peppermint.
amazing.
How many cases did you order this year?
Not in this year because we were responsible, sober adults, and we remembered all the ones we ordered last year.
Oh, so you still had cases left over, is what you're saying?
Oh hell yeah, we got like 25 candles or something like that. Ridiculous.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
That's a lot of candles. Where do you?
a lot of
Oh, never
candles.
mind. I was about to be like, where could you keep them? Because I'm.
But
thinking
you've
of my
seen her house. Her house is giant.
And then I remembered where you live and was like, never mind.
And in the pantry with all the other candles.
There are places to put candles in your house.
Yes. So yeah.
Yes.
Black Friday. I think this year I'm not going to partake. The only thing I do want to try to find is a TV for the you ladies have seen it. I have 2 treadmills and I have 2 TVs in front of the treadmills, and the TV in front of my treadmill. It's a good size TV, like a 40 something, but it's maybe 10 years oldish.
Oh,
And
that's old.
so they gave me, and I like to walk obviously and play games, and I justify it by saying it's a business expense because if I'm playing a game on a treadmill, I have to have a high quality TV.
Obviously.
Because I have to be able to judge the quality of the graphics. So I'm gonna look for maybe like a 50 something inch and put it in front
I've
of there.
seen 4K TVs on Black Friday deals as low as $155. That is crazy town.
What is this world we're living in?
I know. It's wild. Like there was one year, I think it was 2014 or 2015, when I went back home to North Dakota for Thanksgiving, and so I met with my cousins at my grandmother's house after Thanksgiving dinner. So it was a couple of my aunts and my cousins. So by the way, shout out to my aunt Renee, who loves to always be like, "This is my niece Andrea Renee," despite the fact that I don't have my middle name because of her, but she takes credit anyway. I love her. She's great. She instilled in me the bargain shopping thriftiness that I have by taking me to yard sales as a kid. She and I would always hit yard sales on the weekends, and I love shopping at yard sales and garage sales. And so that's where I get a lot of my thriftiness from. We were all together with her daughters, my cousins, and her sister, and there was a bunch of us ladies, and we were like pouring over the paper ads, because as much as online shopping has permeated our culture, I love looking at the paper ads. There's just something.
Girl, do you want to move to my house? Because I've gotten signed up for every single fucking catalog known to mankind somehow. I don't know how it happens.
If you put your address in forums online, they have it and they just start mailing you shit. They're like, don't forget about us. We're gonna put stuff in your inbox.
These are companies I've never heard of. One is an all men's wear.
Because they sell your address amongst their
just like,
profile of
you
companies that they own. Yeah.
You're
That's
stupid. What makes you think a man lives here? Oh, it's the electronics, isn't it?
You've been typecast for sure. They're like, oh, she plays video games. There's clearly a dude there.
There's clearly a dude there.
So we were looking over all the ads, drinking horchata.
Oh, that's good stuff.
We technically were drinking rum chata, which is rum in horchata, which is delicious, by the way, if you've never had it. And we were getting drunk looking at the ads, and then my grandfather, being the responsible one, was like, "Let me drive you to the mall."
Thank God.
And he dropped us all. He dropped us all off, and this was when they opened the mall at midnight, and it was just like an experience because I just never remembered Black Friday shopping, at a sane hour of midnight. It was always like 4 a.m., this weird witching hour. But now, in the last 2 years, like I remember when they bumped it up to like 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving, which was like a year or two ago. And I was like, okay, listen, I was all for the fun times at midnight. Like that's cool. But like 6 o'clock is like, that's kind of gross, because now you've taken the entire day away from people who have families that are working retail. And as somebody who's worked many seasons in holiday retail, that is not a fun job. It can be, rewarding in certain senses, but like it's stressful. People are stressed out. You're stressed out. People aren't the friendliest. It's a tough job. And now this year, when I heard the radio ad saying stores are now opening at 2 p.m., some stores even opening at noon, I'm like, really? Are you fucking kidding me?
Take the day off.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just relax.
I'm
sure there are people out there who want to work on Thanksgiving.
Oh, no, and there
for a
are.
variety of
And that's
reasons.
why I'm conflicted, because,
Right.
Brittany, you're right. That part of me is like, I'm sad and disappointed for all of the workers who want to be with their families that can't. But also, I remember like being in a really tough place and struggling and having to have 5 part-time simultaneous jobs because I couldn't make it and I needed as many hours as I could get, and that's why I would work holidays. And remembering that like some people need and want that work and that they're happy to work it. And it's kind of a double-edged sword, you know, because you want to support the people that are there wanting to work, but at the same time, like, do people need to be open on Thanksgiving? Are you really making that much more money? But apparently 30% of all retail sales happen this week and this weekend. I had no idea. 30% of all sales for the entire year.
Because like I have even, there's been a few things that I've literally waited like 6 months for because I know that they'll do something on Black Friday and I'm just like, I'm just not paying full price for it because I don't need it. Like it's not a necessity of my household, but I want the thing. So it's just like, yeah, of course I'm going to wait until you give me a super good deal on it. Mama didn't raise no fool. I wait.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
But that being said, what are do we know of any good Black Friday deals that are happening in games?
I mean, most I don't know. Most of my shit that's written down here is clothing, as you have said.
Yeah,
I know
clothing's my number one on Black Friday.
You get the consoles for $199 each. I'm trying to think of what those. Let's look.
All right, so I'm gonna head to video game deals from Cheap Ass Gamer, which, by the way, at Wario64 on Twitter and at Video Game Deals on Twitter, both have fantastic offerings. I believe Wario does affiliate links through Amazon. I'm not sure about Cheap Ass Gamer. But so I've just pulled up the video game Black Friday 2018 list guide. And they basically have all of the games and they're like, this is who's selling it. For example, you can get Assassin's Creed Odyssey for as cheap as $27 at GameStop, which is crazy. That game is amazing, and you should definitely buy it for $27.
I'm on Polygon looking at, I think, probably similar lists. And looking at the console bundles, you can get a PS4 Slim and Spider-Man for $199 at Amazon, Target, Walmart, GameStop, and Best Buy. Xbox One S, 1 terabyte, plus Minecraft, $199, same places.
$199? Are you out of your mind? Do you guys remember those commercials?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I remember.
I feel like I missed that. You can get an Xbox One X for $100 off for $399 at Amazon, Target, Walmart, and Best Buy. And PSVR Astrobot and Moss bundle for $200 at Amazon, GameStop, Target, Walmart, Best Buy. So, hey, it's a good time to get a console.
God of War for $17 at GameStop.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
$17?
That's what it says. $17.
LOL, I'll get Fallout 76 for $30 at GameStop. Sorry.
Or don't. Spend that money buying Assassin's Creed Odyssey and God of War. You'll be happier.
Ooh, I would say Dragon Quest 11 for $30 at Best Buy, which is $30 off, is a very good holiday cozy up game to play. Very traditional JRPG if you played a Dragon Quest game before.
You can get Horizon Zero Dawn the complete edition for $9.99.
I mean, that game old now.
Yeah. It's only a year old, Steimer.
It old.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, Shadow of the Tomb Raider for $27.
That's also really good. Basically, what we're trying to say is if you're listening to this, it's Black Friday.
Yeah.
If you've been holding off on buying a video game, clearly today is the day to buy the game you've been holding off on. There's lots of great deals out there. From Walmart to Best Buy to Target to the GameStop, Amazon, you name it. And I think even the platforms are holding sales. Both Xbox and PlayStation, I think, are having Black Friday sales. And Nintendo, of course, as well. So check it out. Just Steam's holiday sale doesn't normally start until after Black Friday, right? That's usually the first 2 weeks of December. Is the Steam holiday sale?
Steam holiday sale December. Oh, that's wrong. Don't listen to me.
Well,
I don't think they don't announce the dates ahead of time. They just are like, this is when it is. Buy all
the winter
sale.
The winter sale last year was December 21st through January 2018.
Okay, so it's the last 2 weeks of the
actual holidays.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Black Friday is great and terrible, I think, is what the takeaway here is.
Yeah, I find it interesting it's just because, like we said, like this is just so much consumerism being driven. Like 30% of sales happen or whatever. I find it interesting when companies do something different. So one of the clothing companies I like is called Everlane, and
Oh,
what
I
they
love
do
them. They're great.
what they do on Black Friday is they don't give you a discount, but anything purchased on that day is all donated to charity.
Oh,
So like you basically are contributing to the greater good, which is kind of an interesting take on it.
I like
So
that.
I'll be curious to see if more companies that are of the more I'm trying to think of sustainable,
People who
ethical
have enough money who are Scrooge
mind,
McDucking it.
Yeah,
they
well,
also
there was
do that too.
the recent thing from the founder of Tom's Shoes. I don't know if you guys saw. He was on Jimmy Fallon's show not that long ago, just a few days ago. And if you guys have ever bought a pair of Toms, or if you're familiar with the Tom's shoe brand, when you buy a pair of Toms, they donate a pair of shoes. So it's like a pair for
Same
a
with their
pair.
eyewear. They have sunglasses and glasses, and if you buy a pair of those, they also donate a pair.
So they have been really good about charitable contributions, really for the entire time that Tom's has been a company. And the founder recently, Blake Mikoski, I think is his name, decided that after the recent mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California, that they wanted to take a bigger step to contribute to ending gun violence. So the day after a gunman opened fire, this is coming from fastcompany.com, opened fire at a nightclub in Thousand Oaks, California. Tom's founder, Blake Mikowski, was in the backseat of his car when his wife, Heather Lang, called. She was emotional. The shooting was 20 minutes from our house, and she said she wasn't going to take our 4-year-old son to school. She didn't feel safe anymore. She said she was tired of thoughts and prayers and no action, and we had to do something. He pulled out his laptop in the car and drafted the most intense email I've ever written, he says, to the board of directors at Tom's and the other brand's CEO, Jim Ailing, who took over after Mikoski stepped down in 2015. In it, he made the case for Tom's taking a stand on ending gun violence and in the process overhauling the giving model that made the brand famous in the first place. Tom's has given shoes to over 86 million people to date through its signature buy one, give one model. Though the efficacy of this method to address systemic poverty has been questioned over the years, through the sale of its sunglasses, the company has helped finance eyesight restorations for 600,000 people, and proceeds from coffee ordered at its retail stores have delivered clean water to communities where the beans are grown. Let me skip ahead here. It says, taking a stance on the gun violence debate represents a radically different approach for Tom's in its line with the company's original mission. This is a human issue, Mikoski says. It's becoming political, but ending gun violence is all about making a better world. So, what did they agree to do? Announced his idea to Bain Capital, the private equity firm that owns a 50% stake in Tom's, that they would donate $5 million to nonprofits working to end gun violence and use its platform and social networks to call on lawmakers to pass universal background checks and permanently alter its giving model to prioritize issue-based efforts of this magnitude going forward. He was done avoiding politics, he said. If we have this much power as business leaders, we have to use it.
Yeah. That actually, when you were talking about that, it reminded me. So, a bra company that I really like called Third Love actually recently gave us some free bras completely
Literally
randomly,
wearing
which...
my Third Love bra right now.
They're great.
So
I really
comfy.
like, these are quality bras. But something that they've started, or they're doing now as well, because of the fires in California, they are donating bras. I don't know the exact, if it's like you buy a bra, you give a bra, but to people who have basically like lost everything. So that's also kind of a thing that they're doing on Black Friday. So I really do love this sort of movement of let's take Black Friday from being sort of a selfish, like crazy desperate, because like you were saying, like you see people like trying to kill each other for TV. Let's get rid of that and like let's do something to help each other instead. And I think that that's really cool and really great.
I like that. That has made the warm and fuzzies. I didn't know about any of those deals because I obviously I don't do a lot of online shopping, but that's awesome. I'd like to see more of that. That'd be good. Come on, world, do better, get better.
Oh yeah, it's for every bra purchase through 11/27. We'll donate a bra to the victim of the California wildfires.
That's awesome. That's like one of those morale boosters that I think people don't think about. But when you've lost literally everything, just feeling
just having a bra that like
it doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things. Right.
In those moments.
And good bras ain't cheap. Like that's a good donation. So, thank you to all the business leaders who probably aren't listening to the show, but we thank you anyway for what you do. And if you guys want to get involved in any of those efforts, there are plenty, as Steimer mentioned, that you can donate your funds to or your time to. But I think this is probably going to wrap up the show because I really just want to go shopping now. I feel like I need to get back. And as a friendly reminder, if you maybe forgot since the top of the show, since it was a little while ago, whatsgoodgames.com/store will take you to our Teespring merchandise store, where we are offering you guys 20% off your entire purchase with code FUNNYSTUFF now through Tuesday, November 27th. So if you have been holding off on getting a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or socks, or the ladies, the leggings are in. I love mine. We've got, or men, if you want to, rock the leggings. I really would love it if you guys check it out. If you don't buy anything, that's cool. But maybe just, take a gander. Maybe you'll find something you like. And
let us know what you would like to see. If you don't see anything you like.
Exactly. We pride ourselves on our immense ladies offering, even though we know a lot of you out there listening, obviously, are of the male variety. That's totally fine. We love dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes are great.
They are.
Andrea,
what?
You missed a reference.
I did?
That made me sad inside because we have matching pajamas of this thing. I was like, outlet shopping! Change of plans.
Nope.
You're not going to get it. It's like a really fucking obscure Daria reference.
Oh, are you talking about our matching Daria pajamas?
Yes, our Daria pajamas.
I totally am missing the reference. Don't
Quinn
hate me,
and like
Cyber.
the girls, I forgot what they were called already, but we're driving to something else, like the game or something, and then they're like, oh my god, there's an outlet mall. She's like, outlet shopping, change of plans. And like, instead of going to the thing they're supposed to go to, they go shopping.
That seems like something you and I would do.
Yes, 100%.
And then we drag Brittany with and be like, let's all get dresses and we all match now.
Yeah, I have to shave my legs first.
That's a thing we can do.
All right.
I mean, have to, in air quotes.
Just put tights on. That's why we invented pantyhose.
And then the leg hairs.
Wait,
when they
is
poke
that
through
why
the
pantyhose were invented?
No.
Girling is hard.
Cyber, you could have just said yes and I would have believed you.
I know, me too.
I know, but I'm not trying to fool you out here.
Thanks, Simon.
That's kind of you. We hope you guys have had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and your friends, and you guys are getting some great deals if you're shopping, and having a lovely weekend in general. We love and appreciate you guys. And if you missed Thank You Patrons Day, which was on Monday, we recorded a special little video for everybody at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. And again, as a reminder, you get even a deeper discount on our Black Friday deal. And we just want to say we love you guys and you're great. And we're going to be finalizing the day for the happy hour Q&A very soon, but it will be either Monday, December 10th or Tuesday, December 11th. So kind of keep those in your calendar for now. But thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever it may take you. And we'll see you next week.
Tricky call.
Bye, everybody. Oh my God, tricky call.